Hello, everybody. My name is Frigid Hyperion, and welcome back to the Wilds of Wildemount campaign. This is session 25. We're now on to part 2 after some disturbing dreams, and I have a feeling that we fought something, but I don't know. It just kind of weird.
We fought it. It did not fight us.
It promptly exploded.
Wait, we were fighting it? I thought we were playing with it.
What? Nah.
You guys are gonna regret that.
Windchime didn't even
Oh my
fucking
God.
see it until it was dead.
Neither did I.
You know, I wasn't trying to taunt anything out of our DM.
I think Kale just censored its death.
Can I roll insight on that?
Hunger of Hadar is just censoring someone when they die. I mean, if the entire area is cleared by natural darkness, what difference is that censorship bar?
It's also full of tentacles. It needs that censorship bar.
Oh.
It does, you're right.
Well, I've watched enough hentai to know where that goes.
Damn, that owlbear got violated. By more than just us, apparently.
Alright, folks.
Yeah, Kale.
You guys are fucking hilarious.
Alright.
Guys, D&D, where the magic happens, guys.
Magic of childbirth. I mean, what?
It hasn't been more than 5 minutes after the intro, and this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, a group of you, are back at the camp. Everybody seems to be packing up and, getting things ready, and on to each of the caravans. Is there anything you guys are doing in the last few moments that you have here? In that case...
Nope.
You guys get back up on the trail. You ride for several hours. What is the marching order / caravan?
I still think Animal will probably be sitting in the back. And Windchime, are you still driving?
Of course, I'm still driving.
Is that even a question?
If no one else is going to take the seat, then Cheem will sit up by Windchime this time around.
I'll go in the back with Anemo.
Which leaves Edward
that
and
leave?
Soren in the
The
middle.
two spellcasters.
Yay, Edward's going to be in the middle, and he's going to be reading The Heroes of Theseus that he got from Yeah. From the book swap.
From the book swap, he says.
I mean, yeah, it's a book that I got by swapping. Heroes of Theseus.
Okay. Who would like to roll perceptions / performance for their given tasks at hand?
I would like to roll perception, if you don't mind.
7.
Why is that?
Oh, that's on.
15.
It's okay.
That's on hold.
So 15.
Anima will roll perception since he's in the back.
11. Oh.
Does he get advantage on it for sniffing out things? Or?
Oh, yeah. I suppose.
He does get advantage.
Let's try that again.
Does it smell like trouble?
Oh,
Probably no.
spicy.
Hours pass, and Moonzic, you are up in the front with Windchime, as she's driving this cart. You've noticed now that you're kind of deeper into you're pretty much in the thick of these woods. The path has begun to narrow, and it gets to be a bit more difficult to navigate. Windchime, you are doing the best you can to save face, but like it is a bad ride. Part of it's the road, right? Part of it is that you have done absolutely nothing to avoid every single rock. And there's no mechanical, consequence or by any means, but it is a bumpy ride. And
Windchime,
Those are
really?
rocks and not coins that when you collect 100 of them, you get a 1-up. Someone told me this earlier.
And all of a sudden you hear this. "Do-do-do-do-do-do."
Cole again flies all up overhead and is having a hard time focusing, especially
That cute bird
being
followed.
that. What?
Remember the last time when Colt
Yeah.
rolled badly? There was a cute bird distracting him.
And the same cute bird has now kept his attention and is kind of following you guys. Mostly following him. They're doing dances.
Meanwhile, Edward thinks to himself, "God damn it!"
Why would I think that?
He thinks to himself, "Where did
I
I
would
go
think,
wrong?"
oh, that's nice. Cole is finding
Don
love.
and Don and Anemo, you
Don? Pog?
Don. Yeah.
Hey, when did I get input in?
Corin and Anemo, you're keeping a good eye out, right? Watching for any dangers, any changes, especially with the recent owlbear happening,
And a better
and all the
nose.
clues and hints that you got before. You find that it's a bit too quiet. Like, yes, there's the sound of birds. Absolutely.
But things are too calm.
But without anything in specific tipping you off, you get this unsettling sense that something is off about the air. But it sticks with you. It's for miles. You've had this kind of unsettling presence,
Is this
like about you.
Is this everyone's feelings or what? Or like
Nope,
Animo's?
No, it's only those two.
Okay, gotcha.
Holding on to the egg.
Like the force has been disrupted, but there's no real evidence.
Alderaan?
Address it. Nonetheless, you guys continue. It's getting to be the afternoon, and it is it's time for a bit of a break, for a lunch break. You all, I'm also proud of this man. You all pull off and begin resting during your lunch break. Anemo and Sword, again, that feeling, you just can't quite shake it, like there's something off. But it doesn't... It's hard, because you look around and everything seems perfectly normal. And chipper, even. Except for this just sinking feeling.
Brent's gonna become on edge. He's gonna be like looking around a little bit more. He's gonna have like a serious face while he does so.
I do have a question. Mechanically, did we get a short rest for the couple of hours that we were on the walk?
Yeah.
Not.
Yep.
Okay.
Hog or
Hell yeah.
I'm hungry. What about you guys? You guys want something to eat?
I could always go for something. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm hungry.
We should make ice cream.
I mean, how are we going to do that? Can make
You have
ice.
precipitation. You can make stuff colder, right? You can make ice.
We can't freeze things. We can chill, like a drink.
Freeze things. DM.
You-
Can I use shape water to freeze things into ice cream?
I don't think
Freeze water
so.
does make ice. You're right.
Let me check.
Yeah,
you can
freeze
freeze
water.
it, yeah. But I think it's only water.
Yeah, it's water. You can freeze.
However,
Shape water. But I could
Grab-
make ice, and then we could use that to make ice cream with said ice.
Yeah, that would probably be more doable. Like
Yeah, you
shaved
can
ice
freeze water
versus.
anyway.
Or like if we had milk and like a container, I can put ice around it, and we can just make ice cream the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Are they actually boys or girls?
The question
Oh.
is, do we have any milk?
The ones who are pulling your cart, they are boys, but there are several who at this point in time are now grazing.
Are they?
Better.
Do they have milk, or are they like not milking right now?
They are. You can roll me a nature check to find out.
Animal handling question mark? We have to roll animal handling to milk the.
That's-
Oh,
Yeah,
milk,
you know, you think that you can get milk from them.
Oh my goodness! It's ice cream time.
Oh my god, what are we doing? Do
We're
we have
making ice
sugar?
cream.
I don't think we have sugar.
We need berries. Somebody go out and find us berries. Nahiri, help me milk these cows.
Yeah, I've never milked a cow before, but like,
That's totally easy. I'll teach you.
okay, sure, yeah, show me.
So like sinking feeling, nah. Milking
We're not
cows.
in any danger. Let's
Yeah.
make ice.
But fucking ice cream on the road, bro?
You gotta live large.
Alright, give me that animal handling check.
Okay.
Let's go.
He approaches the cows carefully, with a bucket from somewhere. Yes!
17. That's actually good.
You milk this cow.
Woo! I'm so proud of myself. Thank you, cow. I really appreciate all the milk you have. Is it? Did anybody else get berries for the flavor of the ice cream?
Wisdom save, what the fuck?
Oh, my bad. Wait.
I'll look for berries. Why not? This is very dumb and very fun. Nature
Sure.
or survival?
Cheem will come along with the search as well.
Nature or
And-
survival?
Either or, but you get two different things. You know what I'm saying?
I'll go with survival. Again, just like passively keeping in mind the leaves that I need for the health amulet, just in case I trip up over them. Not expecting anything. Bah. That is a 9.
You don't find anything that you're looking for. But you didn't run into berries this time.
Yeah,
No
that's the
berries.
problem. You had also come looking. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
There just
however,
doesn't appear to be any berries around this area.
damn.
So we strike out on berries. Does anybody have extra berries from this morning? I know we had some at breakfast.
Yeah, I do. I do. The lizard man comes back. What do they call? Dragonborn. Lizard man.
Lizard man. That's a kobold.
The Dragonborn. He hands you a couple of the berries that he had for breakfast. Variety.
Thank you. Here, we'll make ice cream for you too.
Ooh, I haven't had ice cream in a long time. Thanks. And he walks away.
Gonna be so good. Okay, I got the milk. We got the berries. Now what?
Now we make ice cream.
Don't we also need salt for that? Like a lot of salt?
Who put salt in ice cream?
So realistic.
It's really salty
I
ice
actually know the answer to this, and the answer is yes, but actually no. And the reason for that is you need the ice to do things with the salt, and it's not actually in the ice cream. But because I can keep the ice frozen via shape water, and it won't just automatically melt, we can skip the salt.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I never knew that.
Real life meets D&D. Perfect.
Breaking laws of physics by wiggling their fingers.
All right, let's see if we can't make ice cream. Who's cooking ice cream? Who's making ice cream?
The ice cream.
I'm casting the spell, so I'm focusing on that. So
I mean-
somebody else has to shake the ice cream.
I mean, it could be Cheem. He has a decent like dex or performance. I guess it would
Why
be
is
more
performance our catch-all fake it till you make it skill?
although I guess technically it would be
performance is if we can't
athletics.
find the skill check.
It's
Just
just our
performance.
Actually,
let's pretend to do the thing and hope it goes well. You know, confidence. Fake it till you make it.
you want me to you want it to be shaken? I'll give it here. I'll shake it for you.
But don't stir it.
And then Nemo's going to roll athletics, I suppose, for continuously shaking this stuff. Ooh!
Ooh, he does a great job.
He just-
21.
he
You
just-
see his muscles flex as he's like shaking it like a shake weight.
no, I was thinking like he
Like
was
a shake weight.
he was shaking it like a cocktail waiter shakes a drink.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
There you go.
He's shaking it like a cocktail waiter shakes his shake weight.
I just
Fuck. All right. We now have
Yeah.
ice cream.
very
We share the ice cream with the Dragonborn and with the party and as many other people as we can.
You do, and it's delicious.
Woo!
Nice job.
whoever suggested that
really
deserves
cool.
hero
Make
points.
All I'm saying is that was great flavor.
That was great flavor.
This was a good
Berry
idea
flavored.
today.
Berry flavored, yes, in fact.
Hey, you guys are still in the area, right?
I mean, we're literally
Yeah,
sitting here eating ice cream.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
everybody else-
we're all.
We're actively
You-
ignoring the impending doom.
Well, first of all, you guys don't know about that. Second of all, while you guys are messing around making this ice cream, or after you've made this ice cream, Soren's going to approach looking very shaky.
Kind of shaken.
Can
As
I?
shaken as our ice cream.
Here, have some ice cream.
Thanks, but no thanks. Can I borrow you guys for a moment?
What's
There's
wrong?
something bothering me.
Alright.
I mean, what's been
Are
bothering
you lactose intolerant?
As far as I'm aware, I have 10 toes.
Oh,
Moving
that's
on.
Oh.
I mean, like,
With-
that means you're discriminatory against Nagas and whatnot. And I'm
With
gonna say
that
that
aside, I've got a bad feeling about this area, and I feel like it's nearby. I was gonna ask if you guys would mind investigating with me to kind of put my mind at ease.
I mean, what's nearby?
You have a bad feeling?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. It seems so cheery and chirp and, lively around us, but there's just a sinking feeling, and I feel like I need to investigate.
I mean, where are we supposed to look?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. All I know is it feels close.
Is there like a specific thing? I could probably do a quick scan with a locate object spell.
I think it was something about water, or it has something to do with water.
How so?
I'm not quite sure. That's all I really got from it is some sort of body of water, but it's close somewhere.
At that, Brian's gonna say, yeah, we should probably keep going. And not.
If you want, I can cast augury for you to ease your mind and, you know.
Sure, agree. We could also just say, hey, let's take lunch to go. Let's not hang around here. Something's hella sketchy.
You might not want to, but I have a feeling it's something I need to check out.
I mean,
Brian.
do you know at least the general direction?
How far are we from the previous cave?
Aren't we like
Very far, miles and
Yeah.
miles away.
How
Oh, yeah.
many miles? Because that really matters here.
You are out of any sort of range. You've been traveling
Okay.
all day, and yeah, you've been traveling all day. You are very much out the range.
Doesn't-
Okay.
Spell.
Okay.
Well, if you want, I can cast augury.
I honestly don't think that would help. Would it help find it? Because at this point, I think I might just start searching for it now.
Know that if there's something there, that we should be worried about it.
Yeah, it just tells us whether your feeling is correct or not. There's no harm.
Yeah. It just confirms whether or not there's a present danger.
How long will this take?
10 minutes.
I don't know if I feel like.
We spent the past hour, we spent the past better half of an hour searching for berries. Come on.
Yes, but
And
this
making ice cream.
that was on you guys. Yes, but I feel like this
You could
weight
have
in my
stopped us at
stomach is
any
getting
time.
heavier.
We could just stop casting augury at any time if there is any impending doom. I mean, there's
You know
no
what?
harm in asking.
You know
I'm
what?
done. You can do it.
Can you do? Are we just
Mm.
going to search?
Please just trust me for this one. It's something I feel like we need to do now.
Okay, well, what do we have to do now? You still haven't told us anything about what we're supposed
It's
to do.
searching for a body of water. That's all I know. But I feel like it's important. And this sinking feeling is only getting heavier by the second.
So we have to search for a body of water, or does the thing we're looking for?
Edward! Look,
Can we just go?
I'm on your
Okay.
side. I think this is very silly, but you know what? He's proven to be nothing but reliable. So let's go help him out.
I vote yes too.
So long
Okay,
as
I guess we can go then.
so long as we're all safe, and so is our caravan, I suppose I don't mind one way or the other.
Kent and Nemo stay behind as well?
You don't
Or
have to
are
talk
we
to me
taking
like
the whole party?
you don't have to talk to me like I'm not here. Yes, I'll stay behind.
My
But he is
bad.
not here.
Okay, first off, fuck you.
That was a perfect impression.
That's going in the reel. I don't care what anybody says. That's going in the reel.
Soren, you can see like his panic-stricken face. He's like you can tell he's almost not even noticing it, but he's actively starting to cry.
What the hell?
I mean, are we that desperate? Is it searching for? Should we be? I mean, okay, I guess we can go looking around for a body of water. Would that be within or not within the limitations of locate object to search for like a lake or a pond or
A lake and a pond are not objects.
Send it in there. Send the chat.
Yeah, I'll pop it in chat. I don't have it prepared. It'll take 2 minutes to prepare it.
Oh boy.
You get the feeling you don't have the kind of time, based off of the look on Soren's face.
Okay, can I do like Cole, quick literal bird's eye view of the area?
Yes,
That takes an action.
you fly Cole up into the air. You're looking through his eyes.
Yep.
And not too terribly far away, probably 500 or so feet south. He comes across a pond. But from what you can see, it looks terribly off. The water is darker than a pond should be, and you see through his eyes there is a unicorn.
Unicorn.
The body it has a golden mane and dirt caked white hide, and there looks to be something draining out of its mouth. Some dark, terrible looking liquid.
Oh no.
I'm gonna turn to the party, still looking through Cole's eyes. I'm gonna say, I mean, there, and I'm gonna point due south. There's a pond down there, not too far away. There's apparently some sort of dead unicorn with some sort of ichor leaking out of it. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I have a bad
Well,
feeling
that
about
sounds like it would mess with a druid sense of everything being okay. Yeah, let's go help out.
Soren's gonna turn and run towards it.
And Moonzic's
Okay.
going to keep up as best as he can, or at least Cheem.
And
So is Edward.
so is Brian.
So is Edward.
So
You make your way to the area that Edward had pointed in. You brush aside a branch and you enter a wide clearing with a pool in its center. It looks like it definitely had, at least at one point, contained water, but it's now seems to be filled with this oily black liquid,
Oh.
covered in this almost like violet iridescence. And there you see, taking very shallow, labored breaths, a unicorn, head just a foot from the pond.
I'm going to rush to it, and I'm going to spare the dying.
Stop. I'm gonna put my hand in front of him. Are we sure that it's safe to go near that thing? And I'm gonna point to like the lake of black, oily, whatever. Do you think we
Not
should
at all.
talk to Mage Hand?
Not at all. You're right. Mage hand, so I can do it from range.
Okay.
spare the dying. And I guess my token will be off here. Or with the party somewhere.
I don't know where we're coming in from.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Probably around here.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
we have a mage hand token.
Hey, yeah.
Cool.
What's a mage hand token?
So that's spare the dying.
Chima's going to stay within cover.
You, Soren, you hear, I knew you could come. Oh. Thank you. It seems like the spring was defiled with some sort of dark magic. Oh, I didn't know. I drank from the spring, and suddenly it came. The corruption became visible, and I fear I'm being eaten from the inside out.
Oh my goodness.
That can't be good.
Can you heal it?
I can try for sure. But like you
Not
said,
going to work. It's not.
Are you cursed?
It's something to do with the water. My magic is cut off from Melora. I can't do anything.
We need to buy. We need to buy some time.
If the spring is maybe cleansed, its water should be able to undo it. It's healing. In the center of the pond, there's a. She left a ritual to cleanse it in case it was ever corrupted. Oh.
I'm going to send Mage Hand towards the center and just see whether I can just grab it kind of blindly.
Your eyes follow the unicorn's directions, and you see a small island in the center of the pool. There's a statue of a beautiful fat woman with flowing hair, wearing gauzy robes. She stands on that island in the middle of the pond. There are 3 ornate jars arranged at her feet.
This may be a weird thing to do, but can I try to make an investigation check against, like, any illusions nearby? Like, see, generally just, like, have things to look out for when there's, like, an illusion. Like, checking if, like, the unicorn's hair is swaying in response to the wind, or, seeing if, like, the statue itself is emanating some sort of thing.
Go ahead.
That would be an investigation check.
Nice.
You are
21.
very certain that you're pretty certain that everything you're seeing right now is accurate to the best of your knowledge.
you said it's a magical substance, correct?
Yes.
Perhaps this could help. I'm going to use Dispel Magic.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom.
Wisdom check?
Yep.
Wisdom check. Gotta go back up here. Shoot. Core. Shoot. You said a wisdom check?
Just
Yep.
straight wisdom, yep.
Yeah, that means it's under the effect of a spell higher than 3rd
23.
level. 23 is pretty high.
You reach your hands out and try to cast this spell, and it does not seem to be working.
God damn. That was a
What?
19.
23 is high enough to beat a 9th level spell, so clearly
Yeah,
it just...
no metagaming, Kale.
Okay.
This just means Emily wants us to solve the puzzle normally.
It could also mean that there's a reason why this spell isn't working,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I make you roll it so that you don't necessarily know. Just in case it was a low roll, right? You don't know.
Yes.
How can I get?
The unicorn says to you, "My eyes, they grow cloudy.
Seriously, buy
I
it
only
time.
have minutes before the shadow claims me. The statue of my lady, the wild mother. She bears a tablet with the instructions."
Can I take
How-
the tablet
How far
with the mage
is?
hand?
Sure.
Okay. I'll bring it to us.
How far would you say that island is from us?
It is from the
20
front,
feet.
Yeah,
20
about from the back. You could probably get there in 10 or so if you did a nice long jump.
I mean, we have a
I
mage
have
hand,
the
we can
tablet.
do
What
it.
does the tablet say?
The
Hmm.
the tablet has 3 sentences. It says, "My sacred spring is a gift unto you, my faithful. Should evil ever profane it, I gift unto you the method to restore it." The second paragraph. "Recall the fable of the 8 archdruids." Hold on, I can actually show this to you. Recall the fable of the 8 archdruids. Once upon a time, 8 mighty druids resided within this forest, within 3 houses. 5 were women, 3 were men, and together they made 8. In the end, all 8 found love in pairs. 4 of the druids settled within one house, 4 of them settled within another, and the third was left empty and was reclaimed by the forest. At my feet, that's the last one. At my feet lie 3 blessed vessels. Fill them with the profaned water in the manner of the 8 druids, and speak my name with hope in your heart. You can't actually see that second bit because you guys aren't close enough, but
One of them is marked. Wait, we're not allowed to see the last paragraph?
no, I'm sorry. I should have kept that hidden, but you guys actually haven't approached the
From what I've told, the only way I could get on said island is a long jump behind.
I'm
Wanna-
going
do I
to
wanna-
teleport onto the island. Or I can send you, Jace, if you wish to.
Yes, Ayo.
You have
Jace.
vortex warp?
Sorry.
Wrong druid.
You have vortex warp?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm not in the right season.
Oh.
Sorry, that's
Well-
spring.
Edward, didn't you have that floating disc that you were able to send people across?
I do have a floating disc, but I have to get across in order to send someone else across.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go for it. I'm going to run to the back of the island and try and make the long jump
Okay. What's your strength?
out of desperation. Oh, strength for a
This
jump?
is not a
Athletics.
good idea. I'm gonna like stop Soren. Can we not act so hastily and rashly as to put
I-
ourselves?
Okay.
As
So-
there has to be a way across.
Edward. The unicorn is dying. We do not have time for this.
What is... I'll just pull it up.
My dexterity is 16.
16?
I
Okay, so
hate
yeah,
to be
you
that
should be able
person.
to jump 10 feet, no issue.
I hate to be that person. Dex being a jump thing is a specific subclass's ability. They actually grab that as a subclass feature.
I should pull it up. I did originally say strength, and then
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with
I'm not
it.
gonna
I'm just gonna
bother.
let it be because it's
Okay.
not that big of a deal. So you jump across.
Not anymore.
Um, and you see 3 jugs in front of her made of simple clay, but somehow have withstood the centuries. One of the face is marked with a V2. The other is marked with a V, and on the face of the third is marked with 3 lines. They seem to be inconsistent size and weight and have no measurement markings.
Would reading the Hero of Theseus make me know that these V's and I's are actually, in fact, Roman numerals?
I think everybody can tell they're Roman numerals.
Yeah, I know,
What
but I just
Rome?
want to make an almost connection.
What is a Rome, guys?
Remember the
Well, I
down
mean,
on the
it's
road?
like,
What is
it's like,
So, I'm sorry, but this is time pressure.
yes?
Yep.
4 druids settled within one house, 4 in another, and the third house was left empty and reclaimed by the forest. I'm assuming each pot represents the houses, and 3 men, 5 women, which means that one of these is marked with 3, the other marked with 5. Right? I'm assuming that each of the genders of druids correspond with a particular pot that's aligned in front of us. The third house lays empty, which I would assume means that one of the houses remains empty while the other 2 contain within either the 3 men, either the 3 men or the 5 women.
That third paragraph,
No,
is that a spelling mistake for the
they
full
found
noun?
love in pairs. So we must make sure that the houses each have the same amount of water within it. So take a large one and fill it up. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, so what we have to do... Oh, fuck. Is the 7 bigger than the 5, bigger than the 3?
You think so?
Okay.
But
We need to make
communicate that, like,
4s. We need to make 4s, guys. So filling up the one with 7 makes 7. If we fill up the thing with 3, then there will be 4 left in the jug of 7. You can then pour the jug of 7, which is now has 4 left, into the jug of 5, and pour out the jar of 3. Then grab 7 more, pour into the jug of 3, then pour out the jug of 3, and you will have 2 jars of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I was
again,
thinking that we could just pour the 7 into the 5s, and then, we'd have 2, and then we just, pour that into the empty jug of 3, and then we repeat that process, and then we'd have another
Yeah,
2,
but the
and
jug
then
of
we
3
pour-
can't hold 4. That's the only
It still
problem.
pulls 4. It still pours 4. We just need the 3 as an empty vessel. Either way,
Yeah.
we still have a way of isolating 4.
So, can we do that? I'll even use control water to make sure we don't get any water on our hands.
That would be an easy thing for me because I have create or destroy water.
We
It
have to
did-
fill it with the.
and
Oh,
this
But
That's
he-
the corrupted water.
create
I will say that, like, with this, he is right there. Like, I would like for this so that there can be a little bit more than just actual, little bit more, cooperation. You'll have to explain to him what he is doing, and he will have to do it.
I did. Okay.
Because I
Alright.
think that right now, if he were to do that, he wouldn't just do it, right? Like-
Yeah, I'm. Yeah. All right.
Just-
You're over there, right? Do you see the one marked with 7?
You do?
Yeah. You have to fill it up, and then you have to pour the 7 into the 3. Then you pour what's left in the 7 into the one marked 5, and you pour out the jar marked 3. Then you pour. Then I need you to fill up the jar of 7 again. Pour back into the 3, so that there's 4 left in the jar of 7, and then pour out the third jar.
I think I understand. And he's gonna do just that. He's gonna take the jar of 7, fill it up, pour it into the 3, fill it all the way, and then pour what's left into the 5. Do you want me to repeat everything he said?
Okay. I just want to make sure because when you originally
Yes,
had gone through it, it was pretty.
I did get it.
It was.
Got
It was.
after the
Basically, we're
second
trying to
time.
isolate a unit of 4.
Yeah.
You know, either way it works.
So you dump out the final 3. You have now have seemingly 4, 4, and nothing.
Yes, that
Or
that
nothing.
fits
The
it.
last,
They made
I hold up the tablet. The last part of it. You now need to say the Wild Mother's name with hope in your heart.
He's gonna close his eyes for a moment, and then he's going to chant Melora as. Wait. I almost said as hard as he could. No, that ain't right. He's gonna close his eyes and think for a second before saying Melora's name.
And let me fix this. Sorry, I have a lot of things on my screen right now.
And then an aboleth spawns.
Oh, fuck that.
I still have mage armor up, right? It's an 8-hour duration.
Completing the ritual. All 3 jugs. All 3 jugs flash with this bright green emerald light, and tendrils of energy extend from the jugs and into the pond around. The water shines with a green light and fades to a pristine, almost mirror-like surface.
Ah.
Gurgling of water can be heard as the empty jug fills to the brim with purified, sacred water.
As this is happening, Moonzic's going to look around the area to see if there's anyone lurking about.
Roll me a
And the
perception
unicorn?
check. The unicorn looks like he has not changed. You don't
I would
see
like
anything.
I'd like to dash over to it.
Okay, you're swimming through the water?
Yes.
Okay. You feel like the water almost carries you directly to the unicorn.
And I would like. Oh, do you want to do
go
his
ahead.
perception first?
She did.
He didn't see him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I am going
Good-
to cast 3rd level Cure Wounds on it.
Okay. You cast 3rd level Cure Wounds. Nothing happens.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go over to it. I'm gonna spare the dying on it again, just trying to keep it alive. Do we still have Dispel Magic?
I
Do you
do.
have another shot at that?
He wasted his 3rd level spell slot. He has no 3rd level spell slot
Yes.
left, so I'm the only one that can do that.
Please, Edward.
I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on it. And is it an ability check?
It's just a wisdom.
What?
With
Or
intelligence.
yours is intelligence, yes.
Yeah, different casting stat. Let me open it up.
While he's doing this, I would like to try and hand feed the unicorn some of the water.
You dribble some of the water into the unicorn's mouth. Just before he's able to pull off his spell. Um, just before he's able to pull off his spell, you dribble a bit of water into its mouth. And he seems to take a big breath. And he starts to stand tall and proud as strength returns to his body. You see that there was an inky black shell that had formed around its horn, and it begins to crack, and little streams of golden light shine through. And then suddenly the darkness is dispelled with a loud crack, and the entire horn grows with light. The unicorn turns and bows to you all. My name is Melorio Vasorum. I am the guardian of this wood, and I am in your debt.
I'm going to put the stone tablet back with Mage Hand.
I'm gonna bow to her. Or him. You said it was a him, though.
I'm glad we could help. Jace was very insistent that we had to go fast.
Jace.
Fuck.
Jeez.
Soren was quite insistent we had to go fast. I see he was right.
Yes. For that I'm specifically thankful for you, Soren.
He's still bowed.
Please, stand proud.
He's gonna slowly stand up, but he's not gonna stand proud. He's gonna, look almost embarrassed. Or no, not embarrassed. He's almost gonna look nervous.
Ah, look. She seems to have left you all a present, a gift, at my bequest. And you see in the arms of the, in the arms of
God damn it.
I had to. I saw the opportunity.
Please, please, not ASPCA. No.
Soren, come here. I've got a gift.
He's coming after you now.
for you.
Alright.
Good luck.
You guys
There
thought
appears
this
to
was
be
a
some
D&D stream? Nah, this is a Showtunes stream. We proved this earlier.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's regardless.
with
for
me
some
thinking about
reason.
everything that violates Twitch TOS.
Welcome
Oh!
to the internet. I will look at them.
There appears to be some sort of sling of sorts in the, it looks like in her arms.
Can I mage hand grab it?
Sure.
Is this perhaps the gift bestowed upon Soren? And then I'm gonna carry it from mage hand to Soren.
It appears to be a large quiver.
Oh, I need to write this down, don't I? Hold on.
Da 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 da.
I would like to say as a side note, I don't know if this item is perfect for you in particular, but it is a magic item.
Okay.
So it's not like this was necessarily designed specifically for you.
Okay.
Will
But it might
proceed to
apply,
identify
I don't
it.
know. But yeah, it seems to be a quiver, and when you kind of open it and reach your hand in it, it appears to have like 3 compartments, and it feels much bigger on the inside.
Bag of holding.
Oh,
Not exactly,
No.
but
Bag of holding, but a quiver.
no, it's not.
Can you put it inside a bag of holding
No.
without ripping a thing
not
to the
trying.
astral plane?
probably not.
No, I think
We're
it's
not trying.
like enhanced quiver. Something with an E, but with a quiver. It's basically a what is it?
Enlarged.
It's an arrow. It's a quiver that holds like almost unlimited arrows.
It's a quiver of quivering.
Does it only hold
Yes, it's
arrows?
a quiver of quivering.
I was kidding.
You can like hold like an absurd amount of arrows in it, or
But, like,
javelins,
only
or
arrows?
or anything you want
Or
to put
any
in it.
ammo?
Based off of the space in there, it can hold a lot of things.
Yeah,
Ooh,
ah,
that
I
actually
forgot what
would
it
be
was called. It
great.
starts with an E.
Including-
It's like it's like enhanced quiver. Or
Cast
something.
identify. You have the spell.
You want to sit here for 10 minutes and
Just cast it normally.
I don't have it prepared. Do you want to sit here for a minute? Don't worry about it. I'm
Let's
gonna
just
cast
head
it.
back to the camp and. I'm sorry for getting a little loud there. Let's just head back to the camp and we'll we can identify it there.
Question: do you know who was responsible for the desecration of this hallowed spring?
That I am not certain.
Were there
I
any...
have a feeling, though, that based off of how I was afflicted, it had to have been something from the 9 hells.
Was there a suspicious individual that came through here recently?
As far as I know, no. But I travel all throughout these woods.
Well, I do hope you be safe. And again, I'm very happy that you're okay.
And they bow their head very low.
He's gonna bow back.
And off it trots.
I'm gonna turn to the party and say, I can turn into a unicorn! No, no.
Not a
Technically, no. Unicorns are fake.
bee. Also
Or
challenge
celestial.
Oh, challenge ratings.
Alright, relax. Thank you all for trusting me. I really probably couldn't have done this without you guys.
Nonsense. I'm sure you would have figured out that puzzle.
Yeah. I mean, you're a druid of the land. I'm sure you can decipher mystic, creepy, weird riddles that are presented upon you with your vast
Heck,
wisdom.
I
What do you
didn't
mean?
even know what the wild mother's name was.
What do you mean? I'm a bard, not a druid.
Okay.
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 Kidding.
Can I have a look at that quiver now?
Straight to the point as ever.
Perhaps we should get back to the camp first.
I
suppose
agree
so.
with this.
I'd rather not lead anything to this pond. So I believe the faster we leave it alone, the better it'll be.
I share his sentiment. Let's be on our way.
Okay?
I'm going to. When I think. Before everybody. Before I leave, I'm going to empty my water skin and I'm going to fill it with water from the pond.
Okay?
I'm going to try and do this without other people seeing.
Roll me a stealth roll.
It's mighty with Call of Lightning. I mean, what?
Wait, is it holy water? I can identify the water later, if you'd like.
She's doing this stealthily.
I'm doing this stealthily.
Or at least
Okay, well then,
attempting to.
about that quiver.
God damn it!
That's well above everybody's passive. So yeah, you're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
very stealthy.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
see.
know. Yeah, it is.
Shape waters the water into the thing so it doesn't even look like she bent down.
Wow, how very Avatar: The Last Airbender of you.
Right?
Yep, shape water. Great spell. 10 out of 10. Water's everywhere. It's just a good spell.
5 out of 10, too much water.
8 out of 10. Too much water.
Excuse me, that's my entire subclass you're talking about there?
So, identify on the quiver. What is it called?
God damn.
I'm only worried about the name, but also I guess you can tell me what it does?
You can find it. It's in your inventory. Oh, not your inventory. Your
Quiver of
Ooh.
Melora.
journal.
Quiver of Melora.
Wow.
Each quiver has 3 compartments. It connects to an extra dimensional space that allows quivers.
Ooh,
Shortest compartment can be hold for 60 bolts, arrows, or some
This is
objects.
great.
Mid-sized compartment can hold 18 weapons. Longest compartment can hold 6 long weapons such as bow,
Oh, I
staff,
could
spear.
God damn.
You can draw on any of them as if you were doing a regular quiver from or scabbard.
Oh, what is it?
Well, I'm pretty sure they fine-tuned a pocket dimensional item into turning it into a holster for all sorts of ammunition and weaponry.
Oh, that's
You can
very
fit
interesting.
weapons and ammunition in here, and the compartments themselves let you holster it as if it were just a regular holster.
It's very interesting.
So we've basically got an extra storeroom for weapons.
Yeah, unfortunately, this weapon is pathetically useless in the hands of mine, so I elect to relinquish this to anyone who has proficiency in such weapons that they be the bearer of this piece.
Well,
This fine piece.
the way I see it, I mean, it'd be not it. It could be used as a quiver or sheath in any sense of it being needed, but
Yes, that's
it could
Who
also be
carries
used.
around an absurd number of different weapons that they might need any of at any time.
Right.
Just looks at Moonzic.
What are you giving me that look for?
Well, to be honest, I think Jace has first.
Jace.
I think Soren has the right of first refusal. This was basically his, but his view that made sure that we ended up going and saving that unicorn and getting this gift. But if he doesn't find a use for it, well, I can only imagine that you, with the whole arsenal it feels like you have at your disposal, might find some use for it. I know you use a bow, daggers. Can only imagine you'd probably find yourself fairly reasonable with a sword too.
Oh, that's right. I should say that for a while, I actually did use a rapier, and I still have it with me. Which, putting it in this quiver would actually make it quite a bit lighter. But, of course, that's not my decision to make.
Looks at Soren.
screaming cows.
Roaring cows.
They roar for their milk has been stolen. And from it, they got not even a taste of their own ice cream, the fruit of the labor that they had relinquished.
Would
Jesus
you?
Christ!
For that they shall drive fury and vengeance into our hearts and
Oh,
in carnage in
okay.
glory, in which we shall never forget.
All right, let's back off the poetry here.
As punishment for our thievery
Rocky!
Rocky.
of the sacred dew.
Fuck! You didn't have
Well,
poetry the other night.
Well, if you guys want, we don't need to decide who gets the quiver now. We could probably continue commuting on the road and figure it out on the way there.
We need to be heading off.
It was
agree.
quite the pit stop, wasn't it?
Yep, sure was.
Not as long as it took for the broken down cartwheel.
Yeah, I wonder what caused that.
It was actually
Probably
significantly less time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's because, Kale figured out the puzzle in, like, less than 30 seconds.
Also, I'm very sorry that I kind of I got super excited. I used to love doing that kind of puzzle when I was a kid. Like, genuinely one of my favorite mind puzzles. So,
Yeah.
I saw that and I got, like, hyper excited.
Yeah, who here remembers that windshield fluid minigame from Pop Tropica?
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. That
A
came out of
core
nowhere.
memory.
I just unlocked a core hidden memory. Yeah, but this was literally that. The separating units of windshield fluid with 3 different cups.
Oh my god.
Perhaps we
Yeah,
should
that was
get
weird.
going.
Now I have to leave and go cry about how old I am.
Hey, even I played Pop Tropica.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
Even I, as a sentence, never makes anybody feel better.
Okay.
Even I have been marked by the wrath of the cows.
And you guys set off yet again for the later half of the day. Same marching order. You distinctly feel like that terrible, like, sinking feeling, like something was off back of your head. That has since faded, and everything feels right as rain.
Out of curiosity, why did Anemo get that as well?
Because he
He's
rolled
got a
higher.
Uh,
He didn't get the same things, but he
He got a sense.
He's in tune with nature.
Yeah.
He doesn't even wear clothes.
I don't know what you're talking about. How is
Like,
he in tune with
only
nature?
when he's raging, though.
All right. He's
He spent a lot of time.
he lived out in the
woods.
wilderness for a while.
Oh, is that so?
Canonically, yes, I believe. He did tell us
Yes,
that,
he
yeah?
did.
He lived in a tent, I believe.
could always ask him.
I remember him saying something to that effect, but I don't remember it well enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of you make your way until, lo and behold, it is time to bed down for the night.
Oh, really? Already?
Already,
Yeah.
Yeah.
nothing interesting happens.
Before
Yeah.
we long rest, can I force some important dice onto spell scrolls?
Yes.
Also, perhaps a little guidance just for this specific one would be pretty nice. And I turn to Brown.
Oh, remember when I said some of my choices were taken away from me?
Oh,
Yeah, I lost
don't-
guidance in the process. Got shape water out of it, which is pretty cool. But
Oh, that's fair.
Don't fret about it. I can pass it to you for now. And he'll
Wait,
cast
did you
guidance.
actually get guidance?
Yeah, he has it
Permanently.
permanently. He can't
I
take it
can't
off.
unlearn it. Yep.
Was that a class prepared thing?
Yep.
Uh, okay, well, perhaps you can help me.
That is what I said, didn't it?
So I'm gonna cast guidance, and then I'm gonna force a 4. Sorry, I'm gonna have guidance be rolled. Force a 4 plus 7 plus a d4, which doesn't matter because that automatically forces it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to force an 11, which, plus 7 is 18. Force 15 plus 7 is 22. All of them succeed on spell scrolls copying into spellbook, right?
Good job. You've solved my spell scrolls puzzle.
That was a puzzle.
No.
No, not at all. But like, genuinely, you treated it as a puzzle, and we all love you for it.
Okay, you guys start to bed down for the night. What is the watch order?
Well, I'm pretty sure we already established it's Moonzic.
Or
and
slash,
all.
what are we doing with the evening?
I would like to go forging again.
I imagine someone's going to cook up the Bolhanath heart.
No, I thought we were settling that this time.
Oh, was that the case? Okay.
We're saving it for use later.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, whoops.
I'm gonna set up a campfire again, and I'm gonna go forging for food for dinner.
Okay.
For Deanna.
Brian's doing the full greed thing. She's gone foraging
Oh, that is an advantage.
for Devil's Bloodleaf. Or, actually, can I instead of foraging for it, can I try and figure out whether Devil's Bloodleaf could even be in this ecological area?
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana. Help me out. I have a +5. It's a 10.
You're not certain if it grows in these parts, but like it is definitely one of the rarest plants around. You think it would probably be off the beaten track, if you will.
And I'm unsure, which means I have to keep either rolling Arcana every night until I'm sure whether it's here or not, or getting off the beaten path and just trying to get nat 20s.
We all know that rolling Arcana over and over again is just going to end up in mediocre results. A la the Parrington heart.
True.
I mean, I can roll Arcana. It doesn't do anything, but I can.
I can also roll for Arcana.
Again,
Yeah.
It's less than your Arcana, but
I mean, if you want, I can possibly take a search. We have a list of random stuff that we have to look for, right? Why not?
You have locate object.
I do have locate object.
Oh
You're right.
my god.
Well,
You
I
could
mean, I
just
can only
ping
locate.
whether or not it's within range of locate object.
I can locate 3 things for the rest of the day. Pick 3 things wisely. And I'm going to sit down for 2 minutes and re-prepare locate object. Because apparently you can do that on Wizard.
Devil's Bloodleaf. That's the big thing I care about. Anybody really want Boots of Elvenkind?
That'd be nice for Moonzic.
Duskward bark.
Duskwood bark.
Yep.
I
And
know. I know he's.
shadow tarp leaves.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, from the list, I'm gonna look at like, the drawings of. Do we have drawings of this? Oh, well, it doesn't matter, does it? I'm going to cast Locate Object with 2 second-level spells and a third-level spell to any of those items within 1,000 feet range of.
1,000 feet.
Yep. And here's Locate Object in case you want it.
No, I got it. And you said, what was the last one?
I had mentioned.
Duskwood bark.
No, Duskward bark was number 2. Shadow top leaves. The leaves of a shadow top tree.
It doesn't say leaves. It says woven from fibers of shadow.
Right, but I don't. I'm looking for the
tree itself.
raw material, not necessarily the linen woven. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can get the raw material, we can get linen woven from it.
Right.
And I didn't figure mistletoe was going to be hard to get, given it's a material component that can be found in a component pouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything pop up on the radar?
I'm just rolling real quick.
Ooh, moment of truth.
Nothing pops up in the radar.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't get anything this time.
Well, it's thank you for using that. That certainly saved us a lot of trouble looking for something that's not even there.
I mean, you're still allowed to look. There's probably stuff that I didn't cast Locate Object towards that.
Oh, for sure.
And
And I'm still going to go foraging. It just means I don't have to spend all my time looking for an incredibly hot to spot leaf.
fair enough. If you want, is there anything else I can do for you before I go back and conjure an army of servants to set up camp?
Wait, locate object can be done as a ritual, yeah?
Nope, not a ritual.
Huh. No,
Locate Object is already a pretty strong spell, given that it's one of those things where it's application.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Every object you come across is a tracking device. That's what Locate Object is.
All right. No, I'll just try and find some food. I'll help Soren out with discovering food.
You're gonna hear him. You're gonna hear him scream, "Honey!" while he runs into the trees.
Do they do that often?
I cannot find anything. Foraging is not Brian's strong suit. He's a city kid.
Okay. Anybody else? Slash, what was everybody else?
I rolled a 25 for survival.
Oh! You rolled a
I rolled it with
25.
advantage on accident, but the first one was a 25.
Yeah.
Ba-bum.
Keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to change it from advantage to normal.
You find 10 berries. They're not
I
meant
find
to
another
be-
beehive.
You find a
Take-
hornet's nest. It's
I
like a
take the whole
beehive,
beehive.
without the honey, and also covered in hornets.
Oh, Windchime.
Yes.
Do you have the good berry on your spell sheet?
I think I do.
That's the life I mean.
You should. Maybe I didn't put it on there actually. Maybe I did forget to do that.
Oh, is it the Eon Stone?
Yeah, the
Iron.
Ioun stone.
Yeah.
You definitely are capable of casting it with the Ioun Stone.
What is it again?
Good berry.
Turn a berry into. You turn a berry into a 24-hour energy.
And because of Life Cleric, you know that bonus you get to all healing?
Yeah.
All
It
of the
applies to
berries
berry.
get that bonus.
Oh, I think it's like 3 per each thing, right? So it's pretty much a stupid spell. For like the value that you're spending, which is 1 spell slot.
Interesting. Yeah, I can cast good berries.
So each berry restores 4 hit points, and each berry lasts 24 hours.
Means you can carry it into tomorrow.
Right.
Midnight snack.
Also, bury these nuts in your face. Got them.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, had to.
The point being that if you find yourself with a bunch of spell slots at the end of the day,
End the spell.
Mm-hmm.
you can use a few of them on this spell. Create a few berries and then pass them out at any time during the next day.
Okay.
Or eat them yourself. And each one heals 4 damage.
How do I know how many berries I get when I cast it? It says up to
You have
10.
10. It says up to 10 berries, so
So 10.
up to
Mhm.
10. Depends on how many berries you have on hand, but that's what a survival check is for.
Good berry.
No, it doesn't matter how many berries are. It just needs a sprig of mistletoe. But that doesn't matter because it's not necessary for this spell.
Mm-hmm.
Up to 10 berries. Oh yeah, appear into your hand and are infused with magic. So why is it a transmutation? Why is it not a conjuration spell?
Well, no, it's mutation, but like I conjure things because I'm special.
Yeah, but that's why is it not a
Would
conjuration?
anybody else like to do anything?
What did I find anything?
I
Yes.
attempt to make shadow puppets with unseen servant. However, unseen servants can't cast shadows.
I found something.
Haha, this
That's not shadow.
ain't
puppet.
shadow puppet theater.
Can you dress up unseen servants with costumes?
Yes. Yes, they just appear to be floating costumes.
Oh, no.
Then they'll
You can
be
make them dance.
That sounds like a perfect Halloween sketch.
You can make them dance.
Is here? Why do you go to put my shirt?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
Ignore me.
Ignoring the DM. Woo! Infinite power!
Ignoring the M just finishes the campaign.
The DM, you take 36 damage. Me, no.
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 Yeah, all my dice rolls are going to be nat 20s. No, just have the fucking nat 20 d20. Just nothing but 20s.
I roll to loot the body. As the DM, I'd like to tell you that the dragon is in fact still alive.
I
I
rolled
got
to
an
loot it
11.
anyway.
What is my loot?
All right, so you find with your 24, you find enough greens of like kelp, the loose milky caps, and rose hips to make all of tonight's have a pretty good salad. And or like the kelps and milky caps and the greens would make a great salad. The rose hip you think might make a really good tea, and you also happen to find a little bit of black truffle.
Okay, so let me get this straight. It was kelp, milky caps, rose hips, and black truffle. I think I got one of those wrong. Or all of them wrong.
You also find I don't know. Make sure I pronounce this right. Dulse. Did you guys hear that?
Dolph?
Dulse. It's Dulse.
Yeah, it's short for dolphin.
S-E or F-E?
S-E.
S as in
F-E.
As in shit.
samurai.
As in pulse, but with a D.
Yes.
Man, this thing don't got no fucking...
It's this long red algae, apparently. I used a generator this time instead of having you roll it. So I can't find my list. So, but yeah.
So, kelp, milky caps, rose hips, black truffle, and
You found black
Whatever.
truffle?
Yeah.
whatever that is.
We are
you see,
not
wild
serving
shape
that.
before
We are
truffle.
keeping that, and we are selling that at the next
He
town.
wild shaped
Hey.
into a truffle pig and sniffed it out.
This is
That's how he-
mine, first of all. Second of all, what if I grow more? Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that. That's incredibly hard to grow.
There's a
You
reason
don't know
that
my
it-
potential.
I mean,
You're right.
on
I
one
don't.
hand,
Maybe
it's
maybe
easy
you can grow that.
wild-
You underestimate
it.
my flowers.
You
on the other hand,
underestimate my druidness. My druidness. Hi.
No.
on the one hand, truffles are incredibly hard to cultivate, and there's a reason people always search for wild ones. On the other hand, you're literally a druid.
Yeah,
I cast
you might.
plant growth.
You can magic your way out of this.
Yep. It's not a plant though. It is a fungus, so plant growth doesn't work.
Yeah, but we can call it like vegetation
That
material.
would be a question for the DM.
That is true.
Because it says vitality into...
No, just let it be. Let it be, because I don't know the answer to the question that you want right now.
Plant growth on a
Please
it's not like-
continue to try
it's
to
not
break
like-
my economy. It's
It's
fine.
not like I'm gonna try it anytime soon anyway. We're gonna be traveling. I'm not gonna be able to try it anyway, so...
Yeah, we'll say
It-
that
it'll-
for now.
It'll be a long time, probably
This
after
random generator
this
is responsible for the breaking of all of the economies it's been used in D&D Worlds for.
Oh, okay, so plants are autotrophic. Eukaryotes, whereas fungi are heterotrophic. Interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I'm taking a biology major, and I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, the good news about that is you have plenty of time to learn about that.
For sure.
Basically, if it photosynthesizes, it's probably autotrophic.
Anyway,
Also, like,
Mm.
certain algae can do that too. So,
I'm gonna
yeah.
meet everyone back at the camp, and I'm going to lay everything out on the table except for the black truffle. I'm gonna keep that a secret for now.
Okay.
So
Oh,
you're
that's
gonna see
dinner you got there.
everything I got from this morning's hunt this morning and today or this afternoon. So you got henny flowers, you got hyacinth, hyacinth
Yeah.
flowers, honey, wax, kelp, milky caps, rose hips, and dulse, or however you say it.
Dulce.
Dulce. So it's gonna be a bunch of things. Oh, that's right. I also have that eggy. I gotta make sure I remember that.
Ag.
The eggy is not going on the table. This is my eggy. The owlbear eggy.
You guys begin setting up camp, and you hear the sound of horses, or a horse. From around the bend is a man riding a horse with fineries that are comprised of an array of fine, vibrant fabrics that they kind of drape the form of what appears to be this nobleman. He seems to be carrying himself with an air of easy superiority and a confidence born of your wealth and power,
Is
of
he wearing
responsibility and influence. There is he wears a ring. It's very large and ordained. It has some sort of sigil emblazoned on it.
I
And
recognize him.
roll me a history check.
Is he wearing any sort of medal? Very
No.
important question.
Yeah.
No,
He is wearing a
apparently
metal
not.
ring on his finger and various small metal adornments.
Doran
Edward
puts
skipped
his
that
hands
chapter.
together and maniacally laughs. No.
But he appears to be traveling obviously via horse. He trots up next to you and says to a lot of you, "Now, what are some fine souls like you doing out here?"
I mean,
Traveling
we're
to
on
the next town.
Island.
And yourself, my kind sir?
Riding to the next town. What do you have there? And he points to
Points to
um
checks notes.
I hide
Jar of
everything
salt
immediately
water.
before you can
I'm
see.
sorry,
Do you want me to list
uh,
everything?
no, please don't. My small brain stutter made he points to wind chime where you have your little floating stone above your head.
Yeah.
What do you have there? What is that?
Oh, it's just my stone.
Oh, well, it's quite beautiful.
Thanks.
I'm gonna step right in between them, and I'm gonna say, if you're looking to take from us, you can't have anything.
Oh, I'm not looking to take. I'm simply looking to purchase.
Oh, it's not for sale.
No, no?
No, but thanks.
I'll offer you 100 gold.
It's okay.
100 gold is a measly
You drive a
amount,
hard
not
bargain.
suitable for a dignified offer for any magical item of any capacity such as that.
Excuse you?
Brian is
Are
laughing.
you saying that I would be undignified?
Either
I mean,
I'm
you can
simply trying to
interpret
barter
my-
a deal.
I'm just going to respond up with, I apologize for my friend's candor. Either you have no idea its worth and are and have simply just bid too low, or you are betting that we have no idea its worth and are trying to swindle us.
Now, what would make you think that? He kind of gives you a
Insight check.
surprise smile.
Oh, only the price you offered, sir.
Well, I can see I'm dealing with no fools here. He gets off of his horse.
Fools we are not.
Gene would like to make a stealth check to see if he's see if he can get away at least for a moment undetected.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Okay. He just
You
Homer
sneak that?
Simpson disappears into a shrub.
It just ooh.
I just Homer Simpsoned into the brush.
That
what-
20 stealth.
what he said.
Oh. Unfortunately, my sense to detect truths is also disappeared into a bush. Where I have rolled a 3.
I would also like to disappear now.
You're a druid. You can just go into a bush.
You, Edward, you actually think that this man might try to make a move for that stone.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna stand there. I'm gonna like sit there in a defensive poise and kind of almost ready in action to like, get in the way in case he tries anything funny. And I'm gonna keep my eyes on his hands and whatnot.
While all
Make sure
this
he
is
doesn't-
going on,
And I'm gonna ask, if it's not too direct, can I perhaps request that you state your business for stopping by on a humble band of travelers?
Humble. Look at yourselves. You guys are decked out in some incredibly valuable gear. Now I can
No,
spot that
that's the
a mile away.
And then I'm gonna respond with, I mean, we were assigned and hired in order to protect this caravan. I would expect no less from at least a band of adventurers or travelers in order to have some adequate degree of protection for said caravan.
You,
He gives you a big hearty laugh.
he's
Oh,
got the point,
boy.
Edward. We are really decked out for what we're doing.
while this conversation is carrying on, Moonzic is sneaking around to this man's. You said he has a horse and carriage, or just a horse?
Just a horse.
He's sneaking around.
Does
with
it
a
have
horse.
saddlebags?
It does have saddlebags.
He's sneaking around.
He's gonna steal them.
He's sneaking around to the horse, and he's going to sneak to where he's on the other side of the horse from the man, and take a look at through his saddlebags.
Ooh.
As this is happening, Brian is definitely turning up the charm.
You don't know
Just
where I am.
keep the. I do not know where you are, but
No
I
one
do
knows
not
you.
know where my rogue is.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, that's the problem.
And you can
is
almost
took
definitely
your
tell
eyes
this is
off
the kind of
party's
douchebag
road.
that Moonzic would steal from.
So I am turning up the charm, trying to keep attention on me and be like, well, we do have some nice gear. You were talking about purchasing something, so given that I agree we have nice gear that's worth something, perhaps we can come to a little bit more of a reasonable price? Not necessarily saying that's for sale, but perhaps some of the other things we have might pique your interest.
I have ivory dentures.
I'm sorry?
She does.
Please,
We
could you roll
found-
me a persuasion check?
Found him in Firewatch
Me?
Island.
No, wind chime.
Honestly, give her advantage, please.
Please.
Please give her advantage.
12.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's a 12.
Please
I
give her
wanted it to
advantage
see-
just for the morbid curiosity.
I feel like that would startle him.
Look, they can open and close, and they fit in your mouth if you don't have teeth.
Sales pitch.
Let's go.
Wow, that might be of some use. I'm more looking at what you're carrying. You've got. What
Me?
is that? A Wow, I'm so sorry. My fucking brain
Rod
just.
of the Pact Keeper?
We're-
Of a
Yes.
rarer variety, even?
It's definitely catching my eye. And you? What sort of quiver is that?
Nothing you'd be interested in. Just a normal quiver. Frankly, there's nothing inside it either.
Seriously, he
Whatever
might
you say.
offer us a good price. His first price must have been an honest mistake.
For the Ioun Stone? I'll buy it from you for 800. The staff, 2,000.
Fuck!
And that quiver, 500.
Wow, you were really trying to throw me for a loop with when you offered me 100.
Well,
Don't
have to make a profit somehow.
There's a difference between profits and swindling innocent people that are ignorant of the values of the treasures they possess.
And
I'm
I
sure you
simply
buy it
give
at
them to
Wildemount.
people who value them more.
The thing is as much as I believe you're offering me a fair price for my staff, it has unique value to me beyond what it would have on an open market.
As does this quiver to me.
The Ioun Stone.
It's up to you in time, but you make better use of it than most could.
While you wait for her answer, you want some honey? And he's gonna give him a little spoon of honey.
Pulls out a honeycomb.
Oh, how kind.
It is fresh from this morning.
Yes.
Freshly harvested as well.
Yes, keep him distracted.
May I?
Yes, while our
You would
rogue
like some
is-
too?
I'll talk to you. You said you help magic items get into the hands of
Not
people who might want them.
Indeed.
Well, I'm not exactly incredibly liquid right now. This staff, as you've so accurately pointed out, cost quite a bit. If I were to be interested in magical items, how would I get in contact with you?
He whips out of his his robes, a business card.
Ooh.
It has his
existence.
name and a
Music.
physical description. Yeah, just simply send me a notice.
All right, I will do. I'm going to
It's
take the
everything
business
that you
card.
would need to be able to cast sending.
Yeah, I do not have sending, but hey,
That's a next level problem.
yeah, that's a problem for future us. Well, if you happen to, if I happen to have anything I'm looking to sell, maybe we can have a discussion at a later date. I'll be sure to send you a message. At this point, unless you're interested in a few odds and ends of the non-magical variety, I think you probably won't find very much with us.
I'll sell you
Goody.
this honey. He reaches up with a small pot of honey.
Would you like any food before you go? Just so you didn't waste all your time here.
You guys are quite hospitable. Absolutely. He walks over with you all to the fire.
Oh, away from his horse, you mean?
So,
You just see an old man creeping over Pink Panther style.
I would like to not see any of this. Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
roll me an investigation check.
Who?
I'm guessing Moonzic.
Team?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right. Ba-dun-dun-dum.
Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun,
Alright.
dun-dun, 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 dun-dun,
Second?
dun-dun, dun-dun.
Pink Moonzic.
1 second here.
Hey, okay. Insert jazz music here.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Insert James Bond.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
Moonzic Bond.
I guess while he's sitting by the fire, I'm gonna order unseen servants that I've conjured within the past hour to sort of, to him it looks like a bowl with a spoon is being floated over to a pot. Then another ladle pops out.
Is the Pink
Mm,
Panther theme of the copyright strike like
Maybe.
would I get copy stricken if I played Pink Panther on my stream?
Yeah, you probably might be. Warner Bros. Might just do that.
That's
Hold
Warner
on.
Bros. Yep, I'm not gonna fuck with that. Nope.
I mean, but
You
wouldn't
find
it be
two
funny
items.
if you were trying to like stealthily play
Okay.
Pink Panther suddenly?
You find 2 items.
Oh.
One of which appears to be a little box that contains a set of parchment cards.
Like a
Uh,
Okay.
and sorry, I just lost it. And a funky-looking hand axe.
And what?
Hand axe.
Oh,
A hand axe.
oh.
You also find in his pouch a box of what appears to be a good chunk of gold.
Oh no!
Joke's on you. Pink Panther is actually part of Walt Disney Productions.
Nope.
Oh, that's an even bigger no. If it's Warner Bros, like no, but like if it's Disney, like super no.
That's a hell nah.
Became part of Marvel Studios, which became part of Walt Disney.
What?
Wait, Pink Panther's part of fucking Marvel?
Marvel Productions, yeah. It was sold in Marvel Productions from 1981.
What the fuck?
Okay, well, can we get like Pink Panther, Spider-Man, please?
Pink
No!
Panther is a
Like-
fucking Marvel superhero, guys.
No, yeah,
All right.
Marvel IP.
Team, you were in the middle of stealing a chunk of gold from this guy, and I was about to do something worse. So, like,
Okay, continue. Continue.
I mean, even then, like
Continuing to pilfer.
Continue stealing.
continuing to
Okay.
pilfer.
Is that just the
As you
entire
were.
sack of gold that I've got?
You were able in the time. I mean, you've got plenty of time. But the things of value that you find was a hand axe
Yep.
that looks ornate and a deck of parchment cards and a sack of gold.
Okay.
leave the cards, take the gold.
I mean, I feel like magic items are worth more than all that gold in that pouch. Like a single item would be worth more.
I'm taking all of it.
He's taken all of it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Alright.
the road is
Um,
apart.
While we're there, I'm just going to be talking with him. Actually, you don't have to happen to have an amulet of health on you, do you?
Friday. I sold my the one I had just several weeks ago. Back in near Nickel Doranis.
Oh, wow. Ring of spell storing?
Haven't seen one in quite a while. I
Shame.
could search for them for you.
It's,
I tend to be quite the purveyor of magical goods. I have a knack for finding things.
is that so? What do you have right now?
Well,
Perhaps I might.
currently in my possession, I've got a hand axe of warning, and a deck of illusions.
Yeah, just take the gold.
But I am more at the moment. I'm in the process of purchasing.
I understand completely. Well,
This little jar of honey is on the table still.
Points
You hold
at
up a
it.
little jar of honey.
do you do any work with spell scrolls? I do have a spell scroll I'd be willing to part with.
What's it of?
Create or destroy water. It's not that important.
Is that first, second, third?
Sorry?
What level is that?
First
It'd
level,
be first.
25 gold.
I'd be willing to have to take it off your hands for 75 gold.
Ooh, yes.
Definitely.
Fastest yes in the list.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let me go ahead and you pull it out. I'll go grab my gold real quick.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Oh no, Hyperion, what are you going to do about that?
I was
What are
going
you
to
gonna
say
do?
that- I was going to say that during this conversation, I'm like sneaking back into the brush. Anyway, so like
Okay.
hopefully before it got to the point where he's retrieving his gold is where I just kind of like snuck back in. Well, snuck back into the trees. I'm not going to come out until he's gone.
The man makes his way back to his horse. Opens up one of the saddle pouches and see him give kind of like a panicked look as he's moving his hand all throughout the pouch. He glances at you all and gives you like a soft smile, like before he rushes to the other side and like pilfers through that. Fuck!
Is there a problem?
Was this your doing?
But we've been sitting here the
Our-
whole time.
Are doing? Pause. What do you mean by that?
I know you types sneaking around, trying to make a
Excuse
joke.
you, I just offered to sell you a spell scroll. Why would I do that if we had stolen from you?
Wow.
Go
I am
ahead and
offended.
make me. You know less, so I'm gonna give it to you at an advantage. Make me a deception. Possible deniability. Deception.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
I
Nine.
smell bullshit. Oh, you got. Hold on, you have advantage.
Oh, what
I
the
Eight.
smell
fuck?
bullshit.
My friend! By the way, I was hoping for a persuasion because I don't actually know.
But
It's
But you
so
also
much
rolled
persuasion.
5 and a 4.
I have not done shit.
He's got
But
a
you have
point.
rolled a 5 and a 4.
And I specifically asked for that, role playing as if I didn't know.
oh,
I would never
fine.
have asked him to.
Okay. What's your
The only
modifiers?
Bullshit. The only bullshit I is you.
It would be another +3 for 12.
7.
Again, don't know if that changes his answer, but
So yeah, 12.
God damn it. Keep your goddamn spell scroll. He's gonna get on his course and he's going to start riding in the direction which he came from.
all right.
Well then.
After a couple minutes,
My father will hear about this.
He didn't even get our names.
Yeah.
a few-
And we didn't get his, did we?
No.
He's just some
Well,
random guy.
given
Also,
that horrible customer interaction, never
Who's
call
this
this
horrible?
number again. Burns the card via prestidigitation.
After a few minutes, Cheen pops his head out from the woods. Is he gone?
That
are
was
you acting
you?
suspicious?
as he holds out two handfuls, or like holding the axe and pouch of gold in one hand and the deck of cards in the other, he walks forward out of the woods.
Edward is gonna face
So it's-
palm. And
So
he's
it
gonna
was
say,
you.
How much gold is in there? Because he was offering 2,000 for my staff.
Did not stop to count it. I was just focused on
I'm gonna
getting
face
it.
palm, I'm gonna turn to Cheem, and I'm gonna say, I thought you were the sensible one in the party.
I think he
seems-
did the most sensible thing we've ever seen.
He was a rotten
I
crook.
literally robbed a random person.
Yes, but couldn't you tell that he was just
He
a
was a
crook?
con man, I'll give him that, but
Exactly.
we
I
robbed
I steal from the greedy.
Well, I hope he enjoyed what little dinner he had. He ran off without eating
going
much
to
more.
have foreseeable
He didn't
consequences.
even- He didn't even buy my honey.
You can see this impish smile on my face
Now,
as I'm like,
Soren, I do have one thing to ask of you. Quickly store this axe in your in that quiver, and we'll deal with it later. I don't want
Toss it in.
If it's an extra dimensional space,
He's
can
gonna
he, like,
Open it.
yeah, if the quiver's an extra dimensional space, can it protect it from things like locate object?
Yep.
Exactly, yes. You want the
Toss it
cards in the cards in the bag? The gold could be anything.
Gold goes. Look, if we're going to go full way, everything goes into the extra dimensional space. You
Yeah.
never know what.
sure. Gold in here. We'll count it later.
We'll count it
Technically,
later.
the gold could be counted as ammunition, couldn't it?
No.
I have a bag of holding.
Fit in
It's
a
not
quiver.
necessary.
Valid point.
As much as I was looking forward to counting the gold tonight before
Uh,
the watches,
make sure the bag with the coins in it isn't a bag of holding.
he opens
It's
it.
not. You know
Okay.
Okay.
It's just a
As
large
much as
pack
I
of
would
gold.
love to count the gold and decide how much split it up evenly amongst us all, I think that is the wisest choice is to keep it hidden for now until we know we're in the clear.
Ugh.
Bag of holding.
Bag of
You
holding.
got you guys seriously are just gonna go with this?
Well, I mean, the damage is already done. Plus, if he was worth his word on what he was going to pay us, then there's probably at least 4,000 gold in here. If he wasn't, he was a crook and deserved to be stolen from anyway.
So you're saying that we're not any less of a crook for stealing from him?
I'm sorry,
I mean,
did I ever
it
claim
doesn't
to have
matter.
the moral high ground on him?
I'm not worried about whether or not he was moral. I knew the moment he offered Windchime 100 gold for a measly 100 gold for a magic item of of much greater wealth that he was a con man. That's not the problem. The problem is that he's rich and he has influence and power most likely.
He
This is
doesn't
probably
know
going to
our
come back to us later.
names.
He's already seen our faces. To wizards, it's not that big of a difference.
I mean,
He can
true.
track us, locate object. He can.
He didn't seem like much of a wizard to me, and realistically, he has no proof that it was any of us. I'm usually fairly convincing, although I couldn't help but laugh, so it probably didn't help our case.
He's got money. Look, I've learned back home in Rexington not to mess with powerful rich people. That's the best way to get yourselves in trouble. And
That's,
Edward,
it's best.
that's funny that you
may I
should
point something else
Hold on.
out?
I want to put this in there first. It should be said that it's funny that you say that because me living in Phelan, all I do is fuck with rich old people.
Yeah, well, I'm
Put it
not
this
as
way,
boisterous or
Edward.
daring as you, and I don't lead a lifestyle of heading directly into conflicts, and I generally prefer conflict resolution as a preferable alternative.
If I headed directly into conflict,
we're
would
gonna
I
get in
be
trouble
here
for
right
this.
now?
Edward. May I point one thing out? If that old snob was saying anything that was real, it's that we are pretty powerful rich people. Plus, what's done is done. We'll cover up our tracks, and a locate object won't get anything out of us.
All the items are gone. They're in other dimensions.
I'm gonna give a sigh. Yeah, as much as I hate to concede to this point, you guys are right. There's not much we can do at this point. I'm going to immediately go into my journal. I'm going to hastily draw everything I can remember from that crest or that sigil that he was wearing that I failed to recall.
Okay. Go ahead and put a crude drawing of a sigil of a rich man who you wronged or something.
I'll put that in the notebook because it makes sense to do that rather than adding it in my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, did I just accidentally a war?
I'd love that line so much.
I can't believe I fucking got away with that.
You're a rogue. It's your job to get away with
I can't believe you got away with that with us sending him to go check his bag.
that. Oh, no, he got away from that because...
Like, we didn't
he was-
even know about it either. We just knew you disappeared, and we were like, keep him distracted. And then it was, oh yeah, I'll buy it. I'll sell it to you. Goes, checks his thing. Motherfucker. We fucked up. We done fucked up.
I'm so happy.
That just loud fuck is where Jace would have just
I
shit his
got it.
pants.
We're land pirates now. We've abandoned
Jace?
our
What do you mean,
pirate status
Jace?
for land
I
pirates.
mean exactly what I mean by Jace.
Nah, Soren was giggling the whole time.
Yeah, Soren's not Jace.
Are you sure about that? No, I'm kidding.
Okay. So, as you all go about your night, doing what you will, discussing whatnot, it's time to start your shifts. This is an opportunity for you to roleplay one-on-one with a specific character.
I got my
Moonzic animal.
specific character, yep. Which, he's in Among Us Dead... Right.
Is he actually? Yeah, ooh. Ouch. Owie.
Come back. No, legitimately, go talk to him.
I can't.
Because, like, why not? Oh, can you not leave the...
streaming.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it, Kale.
Emily
No,
wins.
Emily already got it. We don't need more than
Oh.
one person going over there.
Boom,
That seems like a
boom,
whole nother
boom.
shenanigan I don't really want to be a part of, and I don't think anyone else here does.
A whole nother shenanigan.
Yeah, but I think the point
Shenanigans,
is that if I knew he was going to sell and buy spell scrolls for 75, why did I use my portent in order to...
I think that it's an important thing to keep in mind that not everybody is aware of like. I think in that specific circumstance, there's an element of some people will give you better deals for certain things if you can find the right people to stick it them to.
Yeah,
And it's not always the person who knows everything, right? Like, clearly this was a guy who didn't know everything, right?
He knew a lot about major magical items, clearly didn't know that much about spell scrolls, right?
Right. But he went
Because
past
we
an
bought
opportunity, so...
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, Brian, I remember you asking some time ago what kind of people I steal from. Those are the kind of people that I steal from.
I think I understand.
What, rich, clueless nepotists?
Yes, exactly. Amongst other things, but that is definitely one of the demographics.
Okay.
As we're doing this, I'd like to ritually cast Detect Magic.
On.
It's Detect Magic.
There are so many magical items that have yet to be identified, so now is a great time if you happen to have a magic item to give this,
By any chance?
like potions or... etc.
Potions, trinkets, music boxes.
That is
Alcohol.
right. We do have the axe, don't we?
We know what the Axe of Warning does. He specified
Do we know?
Yeah, he did specify
Axe of
to
Warning.
me that he had an axe of warning. Although technically I might not know what that does. That's...
I don't either, but
Yeah, it's an axe that just warn. Why is this a spear? This does not look like a hand axe.
Oh.
It's a weapon. It's a weapon of warning. But this is specifically a hand axe.
Deck of illusions. Well, an axe of warning, basically, it's literally an axe that warns you of danger before you roll for initiative. Whatever rolling for initiative means.
ooh,
Interesting. Let me...
Okay. But yes, if you have one, and this includes potions, trinkets, other things that you may have collected, and I'm saying this because you guys have... recently gotten a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
Really, there is something I would like you to look into, if you don't mind.
Yes.
But I would like to keep this on the down low. And he's gonna pull out the black truffle.
What do you want me to do with that?
I'd like to know more about it if possible. If you
I
can
mean,
tell me anything.
I don't think it would be magical, that lump of truffle. I'm sure it'd probably make it quite a tasty delicacy, given to the right chef. But if you want, I can identify it for you. I mean, I don't think it's magical in any way. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do with that. I'm gonna sit there for like 10 minutes, like a fool, and I'm gonna
Oh.
cast Identify on the truffle.
No. I take that
Yeah.
back. I forgot identifies only magic items. I thought it was.
Magic. It's not magic.
I'm gonna retcon that then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it could also identify other things. Nope, just magical. Fair enough.
Magical items. It just tells me properties of magical items.
Yep.
If
Continue.
anyone has trinkets and baubles and doohickeys, come on. Listen.
I know that some people have some potions that have yet to be identified.
Yeah. You know, like the potion we got from the Fae, like that one time last session. Remember, you guys got a music box inside of the cave. You know, with the owlbear, along with some other stuff. Like, you guys have stuff.
But I guess nobody's giving it up. So,
I know I don't have.
I think it's like just Cameron
it's not just Cameron.
and Lily.
It's not just Lily.
I don't think I have anything.
Actually, I don't think Lily has anything. And I don't even necessarily think
Is it
The
Cameron
point
and
is-
Animo?
it was Anemo and
So all of Cameron.
Soren who got Anemo and Soren who have unidentified potions. But if you didn't write them down in your inventory, they're gone.
Bump.
Fuck. No, I had them written down in my inventory, but I think it was the other inventory I had. No, I do. I do have it. You're right. Okay. It's in the D&D one though, not the D&D Beyond.
Oh,
That's
you know
why.
what? Yeah, yours is that's fair. Hold on.
Yeah.
That,
wasn't
that is
over.
fair for you because I had to make a brand new character.
Yeah. Okay. So, I will, however, approach. Can
But we
you?
can't access that.
So
I mean, I have D&D Beyond up.
Okay.
It's a potion vial with yellowing liquid inside of it with an eyeball.
the big.
Do you
It's like some sort of
do you
scrying
mind
potion.
identifying this? I don't exactly know what it does, to be quite
I mean,
honest.
my best guess is a scrying potion, but I will identify it for you. I'm gonna sit cross-legged and meditate with the item and identify it with the lens.
Okay. Oh man, it's not in there.
Is it a custom potion?
Hold on. I thought it was already in my thing, but it wasn't.
Is it a potion of scrying?
Spying, get ready.
Hold on. That would be a wonderful time for a DM loading tip.
DM loading tip. What's a good
Potion of
DM? loading?
scrying? More like a potion of spying.
DM loading tip. For any of you paranoid adventurers out there that have pissed off wizards, merchants, or any other things, some common advice and safety procedures that you might want to partake include wrapping everything in lead, getting lead-lined cloaks, also hiding everything in bags of holding or other convoluted pocket dimensions, also preferably sewn with lead lining, as to prevent divination spells and scrying spells of certain nature, such as locate object or locate
That's-
creature, from affecting those the specified
That's
objects.
way too long of a loading
But a
tip.
surefire way to prevent that, as certain spells will still also allow you to prevent will also ignore and bypass some of the.
Yo, the press X to skip button isn't working.
I was gonna say there's an easier way to go about this.
Yo, I
and
got one. DM
Go
loading
ahead.
tip.
I'll go after.
DM loading tip. If your rogue is partial to stealing stuff from other people, you might want to keep a close eye on him. If you're in support of this behavior, maybe don't keep quite a close eye on him.
Potion of clairvoyance.
Oh,
It just
it's glitched for me.
Interesting.
You
have to
create an
make it
invisible
bigger.
sensor within range in a location. Oh, I know
can't
this.
even
spell.
read this.
Okay, basically, you
Hold
can. It's an item
Oh,
that
it's
when you
glitched.
drink it, you can create the clairvoyance spell effect, and
Potion
it
of
just
clairvoyance.
either lets you have an eye or an ear that you can have as an extra sensory thing. So you can hear from a certain location, or you can see from a certain location that you're not at. It's a cool spell. I did plan on picking it up, but
When you drink this potion, you gain the effect. I cannot read this. Is it glitch for anyone else? Where it's like pure black?
Make the box bigger.
Yeah,
Go
make the most.
turn your thing to dark mode, and it'll appear pure white.
No, that's not how that works. I would know. I'm on dark mode. You just got to make the box
Also
bigger.
in dark mode.
Oh, okay.
Just make the box
That's why
bigger.
I'm like, I don't know what's happening to it, because it's like, it's pure black with the white box of the level casting time range components, and I cannot read the.
Oh,
the
just
top
scroll
part.
down.
Yeah, scroll down and make the box bigger.
Oh, okay, there we go. Thank you.
Yep.
I was just gonna copy and paste it.
hmm
I also know that Animo has potion as well. Do you just want to give that up or no?
Isn't it like a black potion or something?
It's a blue potion that looks like it's boiling.
Yes, I remember that. I would like somebody to look at this.
It would be a resident identifier.
Yeah.
He's an
Write
identifier.
that down though, because I remember writing it down and I can't find it.
Well, you don't know what it does. You gotta identify it. Or
It is now available as well.
man.
Potion of
Okay.
heroism. Oh,
Oh, that's like an S tier potion right there. That is really strong. One of my favorite.
oh my.
Bless.
Holy
You get the blessed
shit.
effect on you, and
Um,
it's really strong.
That
10
is an
HP
S
and blood.
tier
Whoa.
potion. God
okay.
damn.
An hour after you gain 10 temporary hit points. God damn.
That's not it.
That's not the
For the
cool
same
part.
duration, you are under the effect
the
of the
effect of the bless spell.
No concept. Okay.
Yeah, remember this is no concentration.
Damn it.
You just
I wish
get
I
the
would have
blessed-
grabbed that one.
Yeah, it's just an S tier potion.
This is the one that he got for his sentimental shit.
Yeah, 10 temp HP and some bless. That's just really strong.
To remember
Right?
that.
It's just a good potion.
I did want to ask for that deck of illusions. How many? I assume we don't have a full deck.
Yeah.
You need me to do 1d20.
I need to do that.
You're gonna do that?
I guess you can. Yeah, you could do it.
Okay.
Alright.
D20 minus 1.
Come on, 1. Oh!
Okay, so 12.
So I have got 22 cards.
Technically in my bag of holding at the time being, but yes, you have those cards.
Alright, let's go ahead and do our long rest like we've been talking about. Pairs. Unless there's anybody's got things that they have to do.
Come on, Cameron.
Moonzic and Animo? No. What do you mean?
It's good.
Then we...
Music box.
Yeah, come on. I
Oh,
said
yeah,
it like
the
at
music
least 4
I forgot about the music box. Yeah, let's take a look at it, see if it's anything magic at all.
Okay, I cast Identify.
It's not magic, but it does play Green Sleeves.
Yeah.
It's Green Day? Wait, what?
Green
Green
Sleeves.
Yeah, imagine.
Oh,
I
I heard that wrong.
Somebody once.
That's not even
Not
Green
even.
Day.
It's not
That's
either.
not Green
Not
Day.
even
That's
close
bad.
to Green Day.
It's not either of them. I just pissed off everyone.
Motherfucker.
Brian is gonna do a session with.
Sorry.
Sorry, my
Poison.
roll 20 just crapped out for a second.
Pick your poison.
What the hell? I got knocked out of our normal roll 20 and put into Call of Cthulhu.
What the fuck?
Augers.
And just like that, Ukatoa takes over his mind. We are no longer
Just-
playing D&D. We are wandering through Ukatoa's. You're trying to survive Ukatoa's influence now. And
I
that-
do not know how that happened. I am back. I am sorry about that. Ukatoa was clearly trying to take me over there. But I beat him back with the power of D100s.
Wait a second. Only wild magic sorcerers get that.
Sorry, no, it was a different system.
Oh, you got me there.
Wincham, would you like to do watch with me?
Sure, that would be fun.
I believe that would leave Edward and Soren.
Well, I have no objections. I will stay watch with Soren on the night.
This will give us time to get to know each other a little more.
Yes, quite.
So who's doing first?
No, I will not identify the truffle again.
That I retcon. No.
I'm gonna look at him. You're a druid. You would probably know more about this truffle than I would.
Hush, hush. You don't know.
Well,
You know, I can sense that fungus among us.
So who's doing first, second, and third?
after,
We've got like the pairs, but
well, after this morning screaming, I'm not feeling too up to going to bed right away. Animo, do you want to stay up for a little bit with me?
After this morning screaming, I'm not ready to go to sleeping.
Did that rhyme? Fuck.
That's a precautionary measure. I'm gonna start casting alarm ritually around the site of the camp. Right, as to set off an alert when another humanoid that's not any members of the camp that I'm naming, enters within the vicinity. And also set off with any beast with a challenge rating of... Am I allowed to use challenge rating as, like, a thing for an alarm? It says you can specify. A tiny or larger creature. Yeah, I guess just larger than a tiny creature. Whenever
Yeah.
a beast... Yeah, whenever a creature, tiny or larger, touches the warded area, it triggers. I'm gonna make it a mental ping. Right, as to not wake up the whole camp.
tiny
Yeah.
or larger, you probably want medium or larger.
Until the cell ends, an alarm alert whenever a tiny or I don't get a choice. It just says tiny or larger.
Sounds
Right,
good.
and then I can designate creatures that won't set off the alarms, so just everybody in the camp. Right? And all the creatures that are summoned, so, Squishy, Cole. Really just those two. all the cows and goats. You know.
All right.
Okay, so first up is Moonzic and um, you both get ready to start your watch. Roll me perception checks.
Your voice sounds incredibly distorted.
I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Still sounds the same, but like it's not that bad, so we're fine.
All right, Animal. Hey, Quinn, are you there? Are you listening?
I'm sorry. I mute myself whenever I cough, and I cough a lot, so I forgot. I have been
Yep.
here. I've been here, and I've been saying things
It's okay.
to try and break the silence.
You could
Um,
have made the music box play like, you know,
I
your
do
music.
get. I should get advantage from
Yes.
the thing. Okay, I just need to remind myself
Because
and
you're
you
smelly.
of that.
Oh,
Still not great.
Well,
12.
Rochi.
12 and 13.
could be worse.
Okay.
12 and 2.
Go ahead and start your first watch.
What a day it's been.
Yeah, can't wait to hear about it.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that tomorrow, I suppose. How were you feeling after... I guess we all had dreams last night.
Yeah. Maybe it'll take me some time to understand mine. Um, I watched a beautiful area turn to rotten decay, and I watched a man die in my arms. Or not really, just kind of wilt away in front of me. It's
Really?
really quite graphic. I didn't think that I could come up with something like that.
The man,
It's
the man that
yeah.
you saw didn't have any kind of significance at all?
I did recognize him, but I think I might have to look a little bit deeper to really understand what it all meant.
Okay. Does sound rather gruesome.
You hadn't woken me up when you did, so for my shift. I mean, I don't really know where it would have gone.
No. Which I suppose you saying thank goodness, or thank God, was pretty accurate then. I wouldn't like that dream myself at all.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me about that?
Yes. And with that, he's going to let go of his mask of many faces. And could we hop over into scheming, or could we server deafen or something?
Sure, we can start with F and everybody else.
Okay.
I'm gonna let other people server deafen people.
Yep.
Okay.
That's not my
Emily will undeafen us afterwards, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm about to lay down some
Server
shit.
deafen.
Server deafen done, just in case.
Can we after he deafens himself?
Yeah, so I
Yes.
just did it.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
I think that's everybody except Hydra, who's always listening.
Always listening, always watching, always judging.
As they do.
So, we've talked about this before, but you know that I am an outlaw from the kingdom of Ankarel in the continent of Marquette.
Yes, we've talked about this before.
Well, this is going to come as quite the shock, and besides the people who actually do know, you're the only one that I've told before, since coming here. But I am actually the oldest son of the ruined family of Ankarel.
Kind of, you know, you can't really see my face right now, so I thought I'd kind of describe it a little bit. Just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of like bewilderment. Like what? how how did you get here?
It started when I was 17 or 18. I was soon to be in line to ascend the throne, you could say, and, you know, I was spending some time in the streets by myself. At this point I had long learned to defend myself. And I found this family who was begging anybody that could listen to spare money. They were not from here, and they had traveled very far. They were trying to travel farther still in search of a doctor for their child. But I don't remember the race they were. It's been so long. But finding a doctor for them was very hard.
I see.
As indicated by the travel. So,
Yes.
seeing their plights, it really tore at my heartstrings. So, I had snuck my way into my family's vault, and I had found, I'd scrounged up enough money to give them enough supplies for food and travel and whatnot to make it to their destination. And I gave it to them immediately and saw to it that they left town. Upon return to the palace, I was caught by I was apprehended by guards and was taken to a prison cell. It seems that
Oh my.
in my stealing, I was caught by, of all people, my younger brother.
Oh.
And when my father came in an hour later, still trying to make sense of it through his sleep, he had sentenced me to death.
To death for doing what I would say is a good thing.
It was then that I learned that my father was a very greedy man. And
You'd have to be.
thanks to my family attendant, who was working undercover, I was able to escape. Her group had taught me the powers that you see me use today, with, you could call it shape-shifting, I suppose. And I was able to find an airship and fly myself here to Wildemount.
Wow.
And the rest from there is pretty much history.
I guess it is.
Where the dream comes in is that I saw Ank'Harel. First, it was a sight that I had longed to see for such a long time. The city bustling with people, children screaming, and enjoying their time. Merchants peacefully bartering with each other and customers. And then I saw what looked like hell unleash. And I found myself in the middle of the city streets, watching this chaos. I fear it was a war unfold. And I was pulled into an alleyway, and I had a knife held to my throat by myself. And as the blood ran down, I lay there on the ground, my mother standing over me and sobbing, with a crown on my head, and her asking me why I did this. And I didn't want that crown. It's then that I screamed. It's then that I woke up in such a terrified stupor.
Nemo gets up and only again to like kneel in front of you, and just looks up at you and says, "If this dream stands for how you feel, you know that you did nothing wrong. You know."
I know I did nothing wrong, but I still feel that the people are suffering. I was told by that same attendant that things are just getting worse. And that last time she spoke to me, my father was very ill, and my younger brother is preparing to ascend. And that
And Nemo bows his head. Go on.
and of course, they're still looking for me. Which is why I keep such a tight disguise.
I understand.
I should have you know as well that even Moonzic Mirai is not my given name. I'm not sure if I'll ever want to reveal that name unless it has to come up. I do not care to hold that name anymore.
You've got a lot of support around you. Even if they find you here, which, given your incredible track record so far, I find it highly unlikely. We will be able to protect you, and you will be able to fight back. And if we gain the power and support, it's possible that we could eventually, given enough time, plan something of our own.
I couldn't ask all of you to travel to Ank'Harel.
But you could ask me.
You are my closest friend, Animo. I haven't even told this information to my roommates. We've been roommates for close to 4 years. I trust it with my life.
Mine with yours.
There's still a lot of thinking I have to do with all of this. So a decision may not come for a long time. But
That's alright.
all the same, thank you for listening to me.
Any time. Always got an open ear. Whew, anyway.
I suppose
Let's do some waiting for nothing to happen, shall we?
I should get back into my other form. And he
Hey,
transforms back
yes, I
into Jeem.
suppose. I missed you, old man.
I always feel like I have such a hunch when I'm in this.
I am going to start to meet people.
Perfect.
Our ear privileges have been rescinded.
Rescinded.
Someone stop.
I'm sorry, I did the other ones, so I thought maybe I...
I'm sorry for making noise during that. I didn't realize I wasn't also muted.
I muted you pretty much immediately, so you only made noise one time.
Yep. Yeah, and I realized immediately, like, oh shit.
You made noise one too many times. No, I'm kidding.
Yep. I will never make noise again.
Oh. Alright, relax with that.
As a side note, always, wow, that was beautiful.
Oh. No.
Second, you each, it's time for your shift to end. Who are you grabbing for your shift number 2?
These notes. What?
Motherfucker.
Got him!
You know what? For that we're getting Edward and Soren.
No!
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good shift, Edward.
I forgot that you two are sleeping in the same tent.
And that I'm in trance, so I totally know when he leaves.
Yeah.
And hopefully the rest of us have a good sleep. I don't want to have another nightmare.
Well, I suppose I should be going on my shift. I still think it's kind of awkward and weird that we would partner up 2 people in the same watch that don't have dark vision in the middle of the night. Like, you'd expect one of them to have dark vision if we wanted to have an effective watch, but I'm just overthinking things.
He has dark vision.
Speak for yourself. I do have dark vision, but
I was talking about the previous pair.
Moonzic has dark vision,
I guess
dude.
Moonzic does have dark vision. Yeah, I forgot.
Fucking duh.
I think each
I'd have been-
almost everyone has dark vision.
Yeah, except for Animo for some reason.
He's got dark vision in his panther form.
Yeah.
Technically, everyone's got it.
dark vision.
No, that's wrong.
You begin the second shift. Please go ahead and roll me perception check.
It's okay because 26 and 23.
Ask the wisdom caster for a roll on perception.
Yeah, and also I have a 23 anyway.
Oh wait, we
So
both
I-
rolled 19s, didn't we?
We both rolled 19s, but
We both.
you know,
Damn.
There's a sense of calm as you begin your shift.
we have higher whiz.
Now is your time to roleplay.
Well, I don't see anything out there. Do you?
No, I don't see anything either.
Well,
I hope
I
this
mean,
is.
that's good.
I hope this is a smooth sailing.
Yeah, I hope so too. Um, for that, how are you enjoying your trip so far? I know you've technically we're the ones being paid to escort you. How's everything been so far?
Honestly, it's been a lot more fun than I expected. I kind of just expected to go from one place to another, but you guys are great.
It's because we have a propensity to wander for some reason.
Could be why, yes. But I have a feeling that isn't the only reason.
Is it because trouble follows us? I know trouble has a tendency to follow us sometimes. Especially a certain somebody. You're gonna hear a name uttered under his breath, but you're not gonna quite hear what it is. Well, anyway, do you think this is dangerous? I know technically we're supposed to be protecting you, and you keep coming with us in harm's way. It's like you're seeking after this sort of thing, like a thrill of adventure more than just sitting on a wagon and twiddling your thumbs whenever we go and explore things. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, who would want to just sit on the cart twiddling their thumbs?
And
Be
name
part
more
of the
rages.
action.
Sorry.
Spooky.
But,
Be part of the action is so much more fun, and honestly, it really gives me something to think about on the way. Or
yeah, I
it
think
gives me
so.
something to do.
I mean, for that, I think that, um, you did say you're heading to Phelan, right?
I am.
Sorry, not Phelan. You did say you are intending to go to Oldfield.
I am coming with you that way, yes, if you guys wouldn't mind my company. But my main objective before I met you guys was Nicodranas. I did not say that correctly, I don't think.
No, you said it perfectly.
Oh, I did? Oh,
Honest.
Pog.
Cool.
I just immediately doubt myself. And
Oh, to
you
what
guys.
reason do you owe a pilgrimage to Nicotronus?
Oh, just druid things. I plan
Is it
on
actually a pilgrimage?
pilgrimage. I don't know if I'd call it that. Also, what is a pilgrimage? I don't think I'm familiar with that term.
You see, a pilgrimage is some sort of journey one embarks, usually on either, a journey bearing significant spiritual or religious purpose in this context. Something along that sorts. Similar to how certain religions have a holy calling that requires you to visit a certain place or bathe in a certain consecrated spring or whatnot, at least once in their lifetime.
Does it have something to do with something called a Mayflower or something? Oh,
What
I might
exactly?
be thinking of something else.
Well, I'm curious, what is a Mayflower?
You think I know? I'm not sure where I heard that.
But then, how come you're going to Nicodronus if you're not really sure what your purpose of going there is?
Oh, I know. It's just not a pilgrimage type thing. I'm going to visit the lighthouse. There.
Lighthouse?
The one that's shit.
I've never heard of a lighthouse that's
Not
capable of
that lighthouse, not that lighthouse, not that lighthouse.
Trauma.
Uh,
Rocking back and forth in a fetal position.
Hey, you're supposed to be asleep. Go to sleep.
Please no, please no.
This is how he trances in a fetal position, rocking back and forth.
I'm heading to Nikodranas for the lighthouse, the one that is Melora's lighthouse, the Wild Mother. We've kind of already ran into a problem with her name, a part
Fountain
of it.
depicted her.
I'm sorry?
The fountain, the statue by the consecrated spring with the clay pots, that was a depiction of her, was it not?
I believe so, yes. And as you could previously tell, there seemed to have been some connection with me and that unicorn. And they called themselves a part of Melora, or a piece. So I'm going to see if I can realize anything about that, to figure out what this calling is.
Are you perhaps disciple of Melora? Do you take Melora as the deity under the center of a faith?
I do and I don't.
Or is this more driven by a scholarly curiosity, with your
More...
drive to comprehend the world?
Marley.
What?
Marley, come on now.
Oh.
Come on now.
It's a mix between the two, actually. She is someone that I do look up to and I do worship, but she's not the only one. So I can't give her the number one spot. It's kind of shared.
Oh,
But-
okay, you have multiple deities of high regard.
I do wish to learn more about her.
I see. So this is the reason for your travels.
It's one of them, yes. I also just really enjoy looking at the stars, and he's gonna look up towards the sky. They are very calming,
He's
but
meeting with a bird.
they're always changing in every different place. It would be
Oh, I don't
amazing
know
to see them from everywhere.
Well, it is a pretty sight to behold. For you, I'm assuming you just go wherever the call of adventure takes you. You seem like the type, from our conversation we've had, to do that, right?
Something like that. I am, how would you say, trying to figure myself out. There's a lot of things I'm trying to answer and figure out, and traveling has answered some of those questions, so I've decided to just keep on going.
I see. And I'm assuming you would partake with us now in our travels.
I plan to,
mean-
if, again, you guys will have me.
I mean, it would be a pleasure to have you along in our journey onwards. Just know, I guess it's kind of nice that I guess the universe itself has some sort of rhythm to lump a wanderer with a purpose and a goal in the aimless wilds of Wildemount, along with another group of vastly different and unique individuals of varying goals. I think it's poetic in some way how fate has shaped our circumstances. You did mention there was another deity worthy of your regard, I would say. I don't think it's much of a worship as much as it is a regard. Could you tell me more about that, other than Melora?
To be honest, that's why I'm traveling. I don't really know too much about the other deity. All I know is there's more than one. Considering Melora is one, there's something else calling me. Or, I
Something
should say someone.
Someone. So you're searching for someone, just like me.
What might you be searching for, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, for me, my search is for my parents. I parted ways with the lifestyle that I knew, and I parted ways with the people that I knew in search of my parents who had mysteriously disappeared. Um, and for me, I don't regret it, but it's been difficult along the way. It's been a difficult journey, but I don't regret it one bit. Meeting new people, going to new places, this is all a new experience for me. At the end of the day, all of this is still just a means to find my parents. I don't know where they might be, but if you have time to spare, and I'm just gonna pull out my notes. Show him the mysterious note. It should be in the journal tab. They disappeared with this on the desk, and
Which one?
mysterious note letter from your parents. They're under my. Can you access that?
Oh,
Oh, hold on.
I don't know if I can.
Let me do
I'll
that.
just copy and paste it.
Oh, I can.
Okay. Well, they disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving no trace of themselves, no trace of their former selves, save for these 2 notes. And they have not returned ever since. I know not their whereabouts, but
That is very intriguing. But out of curiosity, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, what do you plan on doing when you do find them?
well, that's a question that I've not pondered much since my thoughts have mostly been plagued about how I'm going to find them. I feel like that's a good answer. Thinking about it now, the one thing that I wanted the most, absolutely more than everything, back before I left home, was to go back to the way life was before. Back to the comforts and familiarity of the lifestyle that I had lived up until that point. But ever since I left my home and been endowed with the thrill of adventuring, I'm not sure I want to go back to that life anymore. I feel like some part of me would never rest contented quite the same that I would be back before I left my home. Thinking about that now, I'm not quite sure. I mean, obviously to me that still doesn't, not knowing what to do after the journey has been completed does not give me a valid reason to invalidate that journey, on the basis that I would still be worried about their well-being. But for me, that's a good question that I might have to ponder more, to scrounge up a sufficient answer for.
It's good to hear you're gonna think about it. Not many people really think about their future, to be quite honest. They just go with the flow, roll with things, figure things out as they go.
Would you identify as someone who goes with the flow, or would you identify along with a future-oriented seeker of sorts?
Not sure. I feel like I'd be a mix. I'm not quite sure what my future holds, so I don't really have much to go off of when I look towards the future. But
I mean,
to be
just because
honest,
you don't have sufficient information to, foresee a future unavoidable, doesn't mean that you can't speculate. I mean, I often, as a divination wizard, my entire field of study is much less speculating, more predicting the future. But ironic as no matter how it's not it's not something that one if you it's not something that happens for no reason. A future that you want is one that you seek, but if you let fate confront you itself You might find that you might be more discontented with the lack of control over the lack of assertiveness you've taken against fate. I'm not sure if this is confusing you or not.
It's a lot to take in, but you might be right.
Well, take assertiveness to your fate. Take assertiveness, and even if you don't know, find something. I know you've already taken the first step into doing so with the whole seeking Melora and seeking the one who calls. Well, do you have any more insights about the one who calls for you? I mean, I might be able to help. I'm not really quite sure about what deity or entity it might be, but any little bit of information could potentially drop another topic that I can look into in research for later on. I know Brian also has a tendency to have a lot of access to obscure archives by the Cobalt Soul that even someone such as I would never have any access to.
Very interesting, and thank you for the offer, but part of me feels like this is something I need to figure out on my own. But your support would be great throughout this.
Well, that'd be nice. And also, if you ever find a clue or find a calling, I know I'm not the best example of this today, but don't be afraid to speak out. You know, maybe it might lead to another detour that br- takes us along for another road, another journey. Part of the adventuring is finding unexpected journeys and finding unexpected and the unknown in the fogged cloud that is the uncertainty of fate.
Cross his arms. He's gonna say, like I was trying to do today, and yet I was being given
Again,
such a hard time.
again, I told you I'm not the prime example of this, but I will strive to become a better example of an image of that in the future.
He's gonna snicker. What's with the laugh?
I don't know. What do you think is so funny?
Nothing. Don't worry about it, but perhaps I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I lost the train of thought. Someone texted me and I just lost it.
Oh, you too have. I mean, it's okay. You don't need to falter upon your words. I mean, after all, this is a watch. Our whole job is to sit here and make sure nothing happens. And that's the best case scenario. Kind of contradictory towards an adventurer's motto
Yes.
of
You're
diving
so
in.
right, though. He's so right.
He's so right.
Yes, speaking of which, what was that? You were walking around in a circle drawing something while talking to yourself? It was a little concerning, to say the least.
Walking around in a circle and talking to myself. Drawings. You mean the sigil? Are you talking about
The
the
entire
sigil?
camp?
Are you talking about the ritual alarms that I've
That's what it
that
was? I don't know. I thought you were trying to put a curse on us or something. I don't know.
No,
It
it's a new
looked very
protocol, a new
weird.
procedure. It's a new procedure and protocol that allows me. Well, it's a spell that I've had access to. You've seen me seemingly spend an almost unreasonable amount of magic, performing small, trivial things around in the camp, like conjuring servants, conjuring floating discs. Another one of my spells, another one of my abilities is called Alarm, and it's basically it's a sigil. It's a sigil meant to detect creatures not welcomed, at least in order under my sort of jurisdiction, to reveal their position and reveal their presence when they intrude upon any vicinity that I have covered with this spell. And this is just for the protection of our camp, so that I may know the location of any potential intruders that may or may not sneak up on us, even without me needing to see them.
Interesting. That would come in handy.
Yes, I feel like its entire purpose is to secure and protect something.
He's gonna yawn. Jeez, it's getting pretty late, isn't it?
I mean, we're literally taking a night shift to keep watch. I mean, it's gotten really late when even the crickets stop chirping through Hydra, and they fall asleep too.
Ooh.
For sure. I wonder when the next shift is, though. How much longer do you think we have?
I mean, I can't guess, and I feel like it'd be rude to scrounge through Animo's pockets in order to find his watch.
You think the shift is probably right about now.
Hey, Andor.
Me. Sorry.
You are trying to.
What?
Did it just cut out?
What?
I think he just completely cut out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
All I heard was Kale saying, "Hey, Edward," and then I say, "Oh, you're awake. You were trying to take over the next shift, weren't you?"
I didn't hear that last bit. Yeah, I've been awake for some time.
I heard
I'm going
everything you motherfuckers said.
Well, Brian, would you like to be the one to wake up Windchime, or would you like me before I head to bed?
I'll go grab her.
Okay. It's all
Nothing I need
yours.
to be aware of?
Would you like to buy some honey?
How much?
2,000 gold.
I'm gonna roll my eyes.
Seriously, how much? One package.
I mean, it's such a small jar. I don't know. I don't know the price of honey. I mean, it's still kind of fresh. It's from this morning. 1 gold? I don't know.
There's like a bee floating in it.
Oh, I can't afford the gold.
Oh. Here. Take it anyway. I have a little bit more. I don't mind the sharing.
It's 1 gold. Oh, I don't have any money.
How much he says.
Our rogue hadn't have stolen
To
all
be-
the money from the merchant that was going to buy my thing.
Which, by the way, I have all that money in my bag of holding. I have no idea how much money I technically have on me, but I have no money.
And we're not going to find out until at least after Phelan.
All right. Goes gets wind chime.
It'd be a good watch.
Time.
Oh my goodness, I'm awake. What time is it?
Like 2 a.m.
Oh jeez. She slowly crawls out of the tent and is careful not to wake Nahiri.
I think it's a little
It's
late
okay,
out
I'm
there.
already there, but it's sweet of you. Oh.
Mm. Okay. Good night.
Night.
Okay,
Anything-
she left.
All right.
I hope you two will do well to keep guard on the camp. If anything does come in, just know that I'll be in for a rude awakening.
Wow.
I'll be in a room.
Like-
Soren sticks his head out of his tent. Literally.
And then I'm gonna point to every single place that I've casted alarm, and I say, if anything bigger than a tiny thing goes over there, or there.
As he's saying this,
Go to
Squishy
sleep.
is going to like stealthily float over to him and just like sneak its way into his pocket.
Into Edward's pocket?
Yep.
For now, go ahead and roll me your stealth check.
Okay.
I didn't even know octopus was a stat block.
It's a custom one. I have to make a.
No,
Okay.
there's a real one.
Oh,
There's a
fuck.
real one. It's just under
There is
the
a real
water.
I see
That
nothing.
is a stealthy squid.
I have.
To be
No.
fair, it should have some excellent stealth.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't
it
matter.
does have
Roll on that
camouflage.
20. That beats my passive perception.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was so mean.
I'm then going to command the Squishy. This is so mean. To ink in his pocket.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, I can clean it with a cantrip, but why?
Because he's acting uppity.
Okay, well,
Emily,
I guess I. Don't
When I
notice.
ask for this, what happens?
When you asked for this, I was just about to to get there. You have Squishy ink in his pocket, and suddenly in a cube all around you, cast darkness. You are now in pitch black.
I immediately go to look through Squishy's eyes and like move out of his pocket.
Does it have magical dark vision?
Can it see through its own ink?
Good lord.
It can see through its own ink. Make that very clear. You don't know if that applies to everything, but for its own, it can.
All right.
Is this a prank? What's going on?
I did not mean for that to happen.
Wait, you.
Do I
you are the
drop
one that-
concentration? Squishy, drop concentration.
You're the one. What? Squishy can cast spells.
I had no idea. He was just supposed
Yeah.
to make a mess in your pocket. Or
The
they were
darkness
supposed to.
Why would you
lingers.
want to do that? What do you gain from doing
The
that?
darkness lingers for a while.
What?
Before dropping.
Look, I'm too tired, and I have neither the energy nor the effort to argue about this. We'll settle this in the morning.
I'm sorry. Edward.
Yes, go to
It
bed.
was supposed to be harmless. Genuinely sorry, Edward. I'll make it up to you. Sleep well.
I'm just gonna sigh. Ugh. And I'm gonna go back into my tent and go to bed.
Good night, Edward. Wow. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm sleepy. How are you?
Well rested, honestly.
Oh, that makes one of us. We should
Nah.
probably look around.
Yeah. probably do our job.
Go ahead and roll some perception checks.
Oh.
Oh.
5.
I
Okay.
don't see
16.
anything.
Wind chime is dead tired.
Moonshine looks at the ground.
Wishes
no
she
bugs
was
in
laying
there.
on it.
Windchime is looking at Nahiri, who is sound asleep.
Oh.
That's
Not creepy at all.
no, not at all.
No, it's okay because they're dating. So it's
No,
That's not
that's
creepy
not
at
how
all.
that works. So, have you been doing?
Good. Yeah.
Have you tried using that Ion stone yet?
Not yet. I forgot what it does.
Okay, it gives you
I'm watching it float around my head and appreciating how cool it is.
Yeah, that tracks.
Hey, that's a very valid reason.
Do you remember what it does?
Normally, Ion stones give boons to knowledge and skill. If I remember, yours was overland travel, which gave you bonuses to athletics for moving and gave you good berry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could. You want to eat a good berry? I can cast them right now.
You know, that wouldn't be a bad idea to cast them, even if we don't eat them right away.
That's true. Here, let me try it. Dun, dun, dun.
You cast Goodberry and 10 bright. What color berries are they?
They're red.
10 bright red berries shine in the light of the campfire.
Whoa. Look at them, they're so pretty. Here, have one.
Get to eat it.
Good.
This would be really good in like that ice cream that we made earlier. We should
my
make everybody goodberry ice cream.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's true. I didn't have to send anybody to find berries. I could have just made them myself.
And one of the coolest things about this, if need be, that's all you have to eat is one for a day.
Yeah. Does it make you feel really full? Like,
No, it's weird. It's like magical in nature.
okay, so like you wouldn't like overeat if you ate that and other things.
No. But it's
Okay.
but yours are like really good. They heal for so much more than they normally would.
Aw.
You should like cast that spell a few times if you have the ability to. We could hand out good berries to everyone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a regular thing we have, both for if we get hurt or just for fun desserts. Good berry ice cream for everybody.
Yeah. Well, how many people are we traveling with? I didn't actually count.
Oh, something like 20.
Okay.
I don't actually know. I kind of just assumed.
We probably should do head counts and buddy checks.
God, what if we've like lost a whole cart already?
It would be bad. We definitely started with 3 carts.
All right, so 3 carts Only lost 2 people so far. We're good.
Wind chime. You don't see the third cart.
What? Where did it go? 1, 2. Oh no.
Does Brian see
When's
the
that?
third cart?
It's just behind the second cart. How tired are you?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get good sleep last night, and like tonight was a little better.
What?
I don't know. I had a bad dream.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It wasn't real. It was very much
No.
not real.
As terrifying as this sounds, I've seen a lot of dreams get a little scary real recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even when I know they're not real, like, happening, they then have, like, real effects on the world around them. It's freaky, and I don't like it.
that does not make me feel better, Brian.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. How is your squishy thing doing?
Gracie, how are you doing? How is Squishy doing?
You hear in your head, "Oh, I'm so happy."
What the hell?
I'm just kidding.
Is this canon? No. I think that should be the
This
canon
is
voice.
canon. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
canon. You heard it
That
from
should be the
DM
canon
yourself.
voice.
Yeah, this is what Squishy sounds like. It sounds like a trucker from the
Lucy
Midwest.
sound like she's like they've smoked a pack a day for the last 40 years of their literally 1 day old life.
Can we also accept the fact that this is canon, that this is officially, technically a part of Brine, and that somewhere lingering in Brine up until this point resides that thing?
That was not the vibe I was going for with Squishy.
No, that was the vibe that you didn't
But
know.
nevertheless, it's an amazing vibe at that.
No, it was a vibe you didn't know you had. Yet here we are.
The vibe you...
Maybe there were some unforeseen circumstances in your world.
No, it's because
You
you...
picked different had a different voice.
No, they sound like that because they inked. That's why.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
like Squishy is just like sitting in bed with like smoking a cigarette.
What is wrong with our
Oh
world?
god.
Well, we have sentient ships, for one
Squishy's
thing.
Squishy's doing well, and I think Squishy's rather cool.
Yeah. It's cool that you got her or found her this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. Don't know if found is the right word. Like, it felt like they were always part of me. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Like you gave birth to her. Him. Them.
No?
But like in like a metaphorical way.
Sure.
From your soul.
I
Like
guess.
without an opening.
Well, I'm
Well,
just
I mean,
waiting
there
for
was that
Elise to
opening on
make
my
that
arm.
truth.
Anyway, I think it's really cool that we now have access to some sort of darkness.
Oh yeah, that's true.
shut up. I don't know about your spell list.
So, oh my goodness, she just like shoots ink in people's eyes.
Is that what they're doing?
I think. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah. Well, what about you? Are you having fun? You brought along Nahiri?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm learning so much about driving carts. And we saw the unicorn today. I've never seen a unicorn before. That was really cool.
Yeah. And things are going well with Nahiri?
Yeah.
Didn't realize things were so serious between you two.
Well, it's still really new. But
And yet she's willing to traverse all over Wildemount and into another country for you.
yeah. She's pretty cool.
Sounds like she's got it bad for you.
You think so? You're just getting my hopes up.
Winchan,
Yeah.
I can give you a list of about 5 people I would go across a border for.
Oh.
They're all in camp.
Oh yeah. We are a good team. I'd do that for all of you too. Everyone here.
The point being is I have some great friends back in Nicodranus. I love them all dearly. But I would not go over a border for them and deal with all the travel and the hassle and the danger that's involved with. Nahiri clearly cares about you. A lot.
I know. Yeah, when I first met her at the circus, there was just like an instant spark of a connection.
I'm sorry, you met her at the circus?
Yeah, she works at the circus. A traveling circus. She sold me like a t-shirt from it was a stand that sold circus merchandise.
You're saying you found your girlfriend at the circus.
Yeah, I mean, where else do you find girlfriends?
In my experience, school. So, like...
Well, I mean,
Good on you, I guess.
I went to school with like 8 other children, so there wasn't like a lot of people to pick from. So that was not going to work.
I was talking more like university.
Oh, I didn't go to college.
Ah. Well, that's fair.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I took a few courses.
Oh.
I think I'm technically in 3rd year now. But,
Yeah.
like... I was doing... over the summer, I was supposed to go into Nicodranus, or from Nicodranus to Portamali. And then, a bunch of stuff happened. So I probably have to talk to the Cobalt Sword about not attending classes next semester.
That's cool. You must be really smart. What are you studying?
Mostly world history, but I really liked studying about adventurers.
Ooh.
As funny as that sounds.
And now you are one. That's fantastic.
Right?
You're really living your dream.
Yeah.
Someday
mostly.
people are going to study about you.
Yeah. Part of me doesn't want to get that famous. The other part of me thinks that would be totally awesome.
Oh yeah, it totally would be awesome. I think we're gonna do it.
Maybe.
I mean, we're pirates, right? Pirate. Wink, wink.
I mean, I feel like we kind of decided to side with the Clovis Concord. Or at least you
Yeah,
guys did.
we didn't
I
really
didn't
have
really get to
choice.
choose.
They kind of had a lot of like arms and stuff.
Huh. So are you planning your brave rebellion against them?
No, I just kind of. Honestly, I'd probably do whatever everybody else did.
That's fair. It's hard to make your way as a pirate all by yourself.
Yeah, it's about the crew and working together towards a common goal.
Kind of like an adventuring party.
Yeah, but on the water.
I
Oh my
like being an adventuring party on the water.
Is Squishy gonna get like really big? Can they do the water?
Well, I know Squishy can swim. They're an octopus. But can Squishy grow larger? That I don't know.
They're like the size of your palm right now, right?
Yeah, they're not very big.
It's so tiny. I bet they can fit through a lot of different spaces.
Yeah.
I wish I had 8 arms.
What would you do with all 8?
I don't know. I'd probably do dancing.
That would be quite an impressive dance.
Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna cut it off there. It's a good note to end it on. What would you do with Ollie? Alright, we're gonna pick up next time with a belated dream that happened in the middle of the night.
Oh no.
And back up in the final stretch to Phelan.
Hey, do we get a long rest?
Yes, take a long rest.
No, this is the one time we don't get a long rest and a long rest.
No, an alarm gets
Prepare
set
for
off.
battle.
You wake up in the middle of the night. Nothing happened. It was literally just a mouse.
An alarm gets set off 1 minute before the long rest would have ended.
Welcome
You have
to
to
D&D.
reset.
Alright. With that, thank you all so much for coming out tonight to watch. For those of you on YouTube, we play Wildemount every Monday from 3:30, starting at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. If you like this video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment if you have any feedback, or if you have a favorite part. If you want to stay abreast of what's to come, then subscribe. I just finished playing through an Ocarina of Time randomizer, along with getting the Wildemount second blooper reel done. I'm going to be working on that as well, so that'll come at some point. Other than that, this will do it for session 25 of Wildemount. I hope you all have a wonderful night.